It is a civilizational crisis. I've said this before. We are at a place, and you can see it from a mile away, we are at a place where great civilizations start to go and new civilizational models begin to gain steam, and there's a place where those two cross paths, and they simply cannot coexist. We are there right now.
So shout out to Paleocrat.
Oh yeah, follow Paleocrat. He's all over this.
The woman explained how her boyfriend told her that his high fiber diet means that wiping is completely unnecessary. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing stars. They're worse than the people on the corner talking about the rapture's about to happen. It's an apocalyptic death cult. It's so demonic. I'm starting to think there's some kind of a conspiracy going on around here. Yeah, we are the wolf pack, by the way, guys. I forgot to say that. Ow! It's good to see you. It's good to see you. You guys always get me riled up, wild and zany. It's so eminent. Everything is eminent right now. 12 years, 8 years, we're all doomed. But the great animal uprising of 2020 is happening all around. They're even starting to talk, dude. I've seen movies. They're just at this point pulling diamonds out of their rear end, which would be a fascinating ability, by the way. I heard it's all about the pressure. It's gonna happen, guys. We're gonna push, and we're gonna push hard, because that is what is always done. That is what America does, which is why you can see all that destruction. And what happens, by the way? Cities get burned, windows get smashed, people get pulled out of their cars, individuals have been shot, individuals have been beat bloody on the streets, and then what ends up happening? White supremacy is the big problem in America. What? No! No, no, no! It's over, man. It is over, son.
I think they're lying to us.
And you know how we know this? Because they buy into everything. They spread fake news like crazy. Is this real, guys? 50-50. There are people out there that have physiques like that. You see them oftentimes in parking garages like valet drivers and stuff. If you want to be an ignoramus and try to do the fisticuffs, hit the road, Jack and Jacqueline and Karen. No, you're not based, dude. You're based in Pato land, as in like located. Let's look him up on Google real quick. Oh, he's on 666 Pato Street. We're just gonna have fun. There's no serious stuff going on here. Oh, they're mukbang spiders. Why? Oh, holy crap. No. No, no, no. Do not flaunt that. That is not something to be proud of. There's been a big price tag for the sins that we've committed as a nation. And we've committed some of the most grotesque sins in the history of the world. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this dude. He's kind of a beta cock, Play-Doh rolling, bubble blowing kind of guy. Says, you better take off that effing shirt, because it offends women. What an ignorant way of looking at the world. You're going to be tossed to and fro by every whim and fancy of a culture that hates you. This dude thinks it's offensive to women that I don't walk around with my shirt off. It's easy to say how great we are, and I believe that we're truly great. On the other hand, we got Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They have no connection with the past, other than to simply remind the past always how much they hate it, and to dance on the graves of the democracy dead. The rabbits are now dressing up as Nicolas Cage. Plastic surgery, I bet, probably from that stinking cat. And you're like, you don't do plastic surgery. And he says, look at the plastic surgery I did for the rabbit. We need to repent. We need to take a knee for Jesus.
Paleocrat's using that argument again. Come on, son. That's good, wholesome American stuff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the championship.
Good morning, everybody. What an amazing day it is to be alive. You are watching Paleocrat Diaries. I'm your host, the one and only Jeremiah Bannister. Every single weekday from 10-ish until noonish, sometimes 1-ish, depending on how long I want to go. And guys, real quickly, well, first of all, good morning. Friday morning. Very glad to see all of you here in the comment section. Very, very, very happy to see that. We're going to show that here in a moment. But look, how many of you missed the episode last night? How many of you missed it? And in fact, I need to say this. It is the biggest, it is the most watched, unlisted video that we've ever had. But it was nowhere near. It was nowhere near the number of people. Now, look, I can forgive you. I can forgive you just this time because, it was, I don't know, Thanksgiving. So I can forgive you guys for that. But it was an awesome episode. We did an unlisted episode. It was I think it's the third one we've done. I don't even remember the first one. I don't remember. I always think when I think of the unlisted episodes, the main thing that I think of is the All Hallows Eve / Halloween Spooktacular, which was totally amazing. And if you haven't seen that, it's just hilarious. The whole thing is just a bunch of fun. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of fun. Nothing but laughs and giggles, and well, maybe a little bit of tears, because we get personal, right? On the unlisted episode, it's more casual, it's more laid back, and like last night, for example, I didn't realize that we had started, around 9 o'clock, and that we were going into the time where we're supposed to give my son his medicine. He gets shots. So he gets shots, and I said that I would talk about it today. I might talk about it today a little bit, but we talked about how he went to go get an MRI and that he was going to see the endocrinologist and they were checking his pituitary gland and that everything was fine insofar as it went, except that his growth hormone is not releasing anywhere near what it should be. And they did multiple tests. This isn't something, there's no guesswork here. It's 3 hours of analysis on somebody, drawing blood 6 times. So every 30 minutes, draw blood. Every 30 minutes, draw blood to do this. And then saying, look, if any of them at all reach a minimum threshold, perfectly fine. And this was after years of monitoring and getting as many data points as we could, checking out different charts, talking to different groups. And it seemed appropriate. And so he gets a shot now every day. We've been doing it for, I think, 3 days. So it's new, but it happened while we were on the show. And I was like, look, we're going to watch a video. And when we do that, I'm going to go ahead and give my son a shot. So I let the video play, turned it off, gave him a shot, came back on, and that's the way we rolled. And dude, guys, come on now. Some mukbanging was happening. I was eating some food. And I invited everybody else, bring your food. Bring your food because we are going to have a really good time eating together, laughing together, having a good time. Man, I ate some corn casserole. I ate some sweet potato casserole with some marshmallows. I ate, what else did I have? Turkey and gravy, of course. Mountains of stuffing, of course. Had some of that cranberry. I had it from the can. That's the best way to have it. It's the most authentic way. I think it is. I think that's the way Chef Gordon Ramsay. He doesn't like anything canned except cranberry sauce. I'm pretty sure that Gordon Ramsay said cranberry sauce from a can is the only exception, and that, in fact, it's not an exception. It's a must. And it's really not an exception anyway, because that is how you how you have homemade cranberry sauce is from a can. That's really the real way to do it. So I did that, and then at the end of the show, I ate some pie. We had some Dutch apple pie, had some chocolate pie, had some pumpkin pie, and by the end, I was trying to get it in before the end, and I promised I wasn't going to just, shove stuff in my face. I lied. I lied. By the end of the show, I was like, just mounting down food. It was totally awesome, and we had a really great time, really great comments, and it was a total blast. And so I don't have any highlight stuff to show you today from that, but I encourage you, if you love the show and you say, man, I kind of missed it. I didn't get to see him yesterday. You could have seen me yesterday. And if you didn't see me yesterday, you can see me today. And you can do that only one way. You can't go to YouTube. It's not playing over YouTube. It's not playing over Facebook. It's not doing any of that. It's at one place. Well, it is on YouTube, but it's a secret. It's a secret video. So you have to go to paleocratdiaries.com in order to get the link. Okay. So, oh boy, we have a really, really great show for you today. Of course, we have all of the regular conversations, right? We're going to have the funny stories. There's a whole bunch of them. I think today it's more memes. I think that there's a whole bunch of memes, and maybe some stories about marriage, because, oh, I should have said this. There was a little bit of tears maybe last night, at least choking up kind of thing, because I got to talk about my wife. Because yesterday was our 18th wedding anniversary, and we are proud of that. And so it was an awesome time. The kids came down. Angela was here. Oh, man, it was awesome. And I love my wife. And so I think we have a couple of things today to talk about that. But if you want to hear what I said about that, if you want to hear the conversation, it got really personal, where I was not too personal. I didn't go over the line, guys. I didn't go over the line. I made sure to keep it family friendly because it's family friendly fun. So I kept it family friendly. All right. What's always family friendly? You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing is, I kept it good for kids, right? Good for kids. But it was awesome. It was awesome. And so really, really happy about that. And so we may talk about that. Of course, we're going to talk about COVID. But not just about COVID, but some of the craziness that's happening, some of the hypocrisy that's going on. In fact, as always, high-profile hypocrisy, some of the most grotesque hypocrisy from people in authority that kind of makes you go, and you don't know. You're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Aren't you the guy on TV? Aren't you the guy that is the sexiest doctor in the world that is on TV every day, shaming everybody who's not playing according to the rules, and here you are, I don't know, in a really scandalous picture, not wearing masks or social distancing? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Great Reset and how real that bugger is, and what it means, not just the Great Reset, and what they mean by that. And you may have seen, I'm not even going to talk about it today. I'm not even going to talk about it today, but you may have seen the Pope's op-ed. Right, it wasn't really an op-ed. It's part of a book that he wrote that's going out there. He's written a book about it, and he's talking about COVID and basically let's put it this way: the great rethinking of everything. And he's talking about it and shaming everybody who doesn't believe in the lockdowns and all of this stuff. We talked about that yesterday, and the truth is, this is just not I don't want this show to turn in to the Catholic hour. And I also don't want it to turn into the Francis bashing hour. I don't want it to turn into that because it's not what it is. So, but we are going to talk about the Great Reset, why that's actually important, why that's not a conspiracy theory, and who's talking about it, who's using those phrases, and what it means for you. But I also want to talk about, and of course, election news. The Kraken has officially been opened. It's roaring like a wild maniac right now in many different states. And I told my buddy, I said, you got to beware. I said, you have to beware, because if any of these lawsuits end up proving effective, and it's effective enough that they're stopping certifications, and you sit there and you say, okay, so you've got these lawsuits going forward. And I said, bro, if it ends up turning tides, you're going to see some of the craziest junk you've ever seen. And we know that. We've been on this for a long time. Okay. We've been talking about this for basically since the show first began about 2.5 months ago. So we're not reactionaries. We anticipate, we envision. In fact, we predicted this. And so the thing is, the rest of the world, though, they aren't like you. They aren't tuning into this show. They're watching other shows, man. They're like my dad. They're still watching Charlie Kirk. And you're like, what? Why? Why are you doing that? I'm watching Ben Shapiro every day. Why, dude? Why are you doing that, man? Why are you tuning into Ben Shapiro's show every day? What's going on with that? What are you thinking? And so, wasn't he a Jeb Bush guy? But they're not on the ball. They don't understand this, so they don't know how to calculate this. And they don't know how to calculate what's going to happen, what could possibly happen, to I don't know, the world. If it goes down, folks, if it goes down right now, it's going down like it's going full fisticuffs. I mean, we're talking on like Donkey Kong right now. So we've got that. But I also am going to get personal, and we are going to talk a little bit about. Let's see here. Make sure I get it. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about social media because to be honest, I last night I was in a conversation with my buddy Chad, my friend. He's an award-winning author. He co-hosts a podcast with me called Paleo Cheese. We co-hosted together, and we've been friends for a very long time. And we get into this conversation about what NaNoWriMo has done for both of us, right? And it's I have failed spectacularly at NaNoWriMo, but it's in a way it's because of the weaknesses that NaNoWriMo has actually brought to light with me. Things in my life, things that I do, habits that I have that make it so that, you know, I'm not just sitting down typing. Why am I not doing that? That I'm sitting down plotting stuff out. Why am I not doing that? What is gobbling up my time? And as I began to think about it more, I began to get angry, really ticked off, and I just became resolute. I became resolute through the process, and I said, I'm sick and tired of this crap. I'm sick and tired of it. And it all boils down to one thing. And it was a long conversation. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but it was one conversation and one topic. And it had to do with the impact in our life. We're older guys, right? He's older than me. He's grandpa enough that he's taking, naps every day. he's gonna karate chop me in the neck. He's older than me, at least. He's my elder, so I respect him. But we're both older, and we know what it was like to live before the internet. We know what it was like. We know what it was like to grow up, to wake up, to go through your day, to make those phone calls with a phone plugged into a wall, or feeling cool because you have a wireless phone and you're walking around the house and it has a big old antenna plugged into it. You know what I mean? You pull the antenna up, it's like one of those things, like a car, and you're sitting there walking around feeling all cool in your house. Going to bed and not having, some people had TVs in their room, but not having TVs in your hand or in your pocket, that kind of a thing. And what life was like in that world, what life was like when you didn't just have the ability to hop on your phone and just do. Hey, what's going on, guys? What's the weather like there? What's it feel like outside today? Why don't you go outside, dude? That's what you would do in real life. But the impact of that, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because I'm sick and tired of complaining about censorship, man. In fact, part of me doesn't even want to hear it. Like I need to talk about it from a perspective of media theory. You know what I mean? Like that's part of that. You got to do it. But the truth is I'm sick and tired of, on an individual level, all these individuals, and a lot of them who aren't even content creators, going out there and just talking about media censorship. Look at what they're doing. And you go, dude, look at what you're doing. Have you even analyzed what you're doing? Or did you just find a new gadget and toy that glows at you and it's released dopamine and you're on it now 20 hours a day? And if you think I'm being a jerk about it, you know what's crazy? Facebook knows. Facebook knows your habits. They know them better than you. They know when when you take a dump. They could do predictive models to say, yep, oh boy, oh girl, they're going to have to take a dump, at 8 a.m. It's their morning deuce. They know it already. All these places, they all know your concept of privacy. A lot of these people, their concept of privacy is toast. It's just toast. They don't even know what they're talking about anymore. It's like they're a rerun. They talk as if we're back in the days of TV land. And they're like, oh man, these big media companies, our privacy is at stake. And I'm like, dude, it's gone. You don't even understand where you are. I don't want to be belittling, but it's why I do the show. We talk about this stuff. But for myself, I sit there and I said, dude, I'm done. Even to the point now where, and I may as well just pull it up right now before we go to comments. And by the way, love you guys. I love you guys, man. You guys are amazing. And if you haven't liked the video you're watching, please do that. If you haven't commented, even just to say good morning, do that. I'll read your comment. And I apologize for not reading a super chat recently. A person gave me a super chat for $2.50. I saw it, and then I had to scroll back to see other things, and we never got to it. And I feel very badly about that. Let me see here. And make sure that if you're like, man, I really wish more people were tuning into this, you know, make sure that you share it. Make sure that you share it, you know. But the thing is, okay, so here's paleocratdiaries.com, okay? I'm going to put the picture of my daughter up there. That's going to be my background right now. I miss her with all of my heart, by the way. I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for her. I wish, of course, that she would have never died. I mean, it's an obvious thing, right, guys? I mean, you'll it's an obvious thing. You know, she should be the one burying me. It's a wretched thing when a parent has to bury their child. But I'm thankful for the life that she lived, the love that she had, the way that she was able to dream big, the way that she was able to reach for the stars, even when she was in some of the worst places in the world and experiencing some of the hardest things that anyone could possibly imagine. And she was able to do it with love in her heart and a smile on her face. She cried. It's true. That's normal. She was sad at times. Totally normal. But the thing is she inspired me. Well, this site, when I decided I was going to do the site, and I said, yeah, I'm going to do Paleocrat Diaries, I didn't want to do what I'm doing right now. I didn't want to do everyday stuff. I didn't want to talk just about current events. I didn't want to get gobbled up because I knew what that meant for me. I knew that it meant I'm going to be hours and hours and hours and hours online. I used to buy magazines and get newspapers and limit myself to that. But the way that news cycles work now, and why would I read a newspaper at this point? It's a joke. It's a rag for, you know, carbon copy of the AP. So I'm like, I don't want to do that either. So now I go to all these different websites and it gets more and more. You say, well, I don't want to go to just a couple sites. I need to go to more and more and more and more and more. And maybe a social media engine. So I go to Twitter, or I go to Telegram or whatever, and then I'm getting emails, and it just, your time throughout the day just boom, 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 boom. And now you're just in it big time. You're drowning in it. And I thought to myself, I said, done. I will get on there to find my stories. I have a couple places that I go that diversify the sources that we get, because I'm trying to do that more. I'm also encouraging you, email me with those. I got to check my emails, of course. That's going to happen. But the amount of time I spend on my own site, I've made a decision. I'm going to handwrite my posts, which is actually what I wanted to do in the beginning. And I'm not going to handwrite them so that somebody else can do it. I'm going to handwrite them so that I can actually post a scan of my handwritten post. Because when I write by hand, I have a tendency to draw. I have a tendency to do other things, and it's very legible handwriting. It's artistic, in fact. It's very pretty. It's very not pretty. I don't. It's not, you know, all swirly and girly. You girls know what I'm talking about. Ladies know. Ladies know what it looks like if a dude has girly handwriting. I don't have that. It's very, very professional, very legible. And so I'm going to write it, and we're going to scan it, and we're going to post it. And I'm walking away because I give 3 hours on this show every single day. But I encourage you, if you are not yet a member, and if you are not yet subscribed, you got to do it. You got to do it because it's easy. In fact, we've made it easy for you. You can become a member, $5 a month. We're going to start doing not just unlisted videos, but private videos. So that way, the only way you're going to get it is if you are a member and we blast out the web address for that. It's the only way it's going to happen. And we're going to eventually have it so that there are unlisted videos specific and unique only to people who are members. So we're trying to build that up, and you got to do it. But I brought this up only to say one more thing. I know I've been talking a long time. You guys are like, come on, man. Come on. Where are the memes, dude? Where are the animal uprising stories? Where are those things? And I'm like, hold your freaking horses. Hold your horses. First things first, because as I've got your attention, you got to see this, okay? You got to see this right here. Help wanted. Okay? If you want to be part of the show as a volunteer or contributor, you got to reach out to us because we have exploded. We've exploded, guys. It's massive. It's completely massive. And we've just, it's gotten to the point, it's weird because if you go on one platform, like you go on Facebook and you're like, oh man, it's, you know, he's only got like 100 views. And I'm like, why don't you go over to this platform? I've got almost 3,000, right? On this one video while we were live. Okay. So you say, okay, wow. Okay. Or, you know, so they check it out and they're like, okay, well, it's spread out all over the place. If you combine that all together, we're talking, you know, 4,000 to 5,000 views per episode. Okay. By the end of the day, you're talking let's say 5,000 by the end of the day per episode. That's respectable. And we have a lot of people subscribing. In fact, since we did the speech in Lansing, just boom, like a rocket up to outer space. And it's been totally awesome. And so the thing is that we had to make a decision, and it was inevitable. And it was that we want to reach out for people to be volunteers to help out with the show and to be part of it. And look, we want you to actually help out for real. We want you to help out for real. We don't want to, I know a lot of people that they brought on volunteers and they treat them like crap. We don't want that. We don't want to have volunteers on that are like, man, my gifts and talents are X, Y, Z, and yet I'm doing this over here instead of what I'm good at. We don't want that either. And so we put together a whole bunch of things. Social media operator for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Parler, you name it. Social media amplifiers, that's easy. That's kind of for like the normies that watch. We got a lot of normies. They're like, I don't really know a lot about this, but I know how to like. I know how to comment. I know how to share. Say, okay. Story suppliers, people who send us stories. Meme magicians, people who know how to make original content. Contributors, writers, and vloggers who talk about themes and topics similar to our own on the show, and it's a wide variety of those things, as well as video editors who want to make clips, because we get that all the time. And if you want to learn more about that, you got to go to paleocratdiaries.com. All right. Make sure, again, if you have not liked this video, if you have not commented under this video, or if you have not shared this video with your friends, make sure to do it now. Do not be a goon. You got to do it. Oh, Dustin Michael a year ago says, what is this trash? That's my cousin, man. That's the guy I told you one time when I was telling the story about how I got into philosophy and I was at a bookstore and he comes whipping around the corner and just kicks me right in the crotch. And I fell down and had a moment of illumination. It was painful, but it was illuminating. And I picked my very first book that I ever had on philosophy. I was in that spot and I'm looking, the pain and everything, the red in my eyes. I was filled with rage, man, like a raging bull. I wanted to get him back. But I knew, he did a good one on me. He got me good. And it was right in public. There's a lot of people. I don't think they saw him do it. They probably saw him giggling like a little girl running around the corner. But then they were distracted more than that by me on the ground writhing in pain. With sudden, it's almost like a good trip. It's like a good trip or something. You're like, you're having a vision, but at the same time, you're like, oh, I'm kind of messed up, man. I might have to puke. So, okay, Dustin, I'm glad you tuned in, man. I'm sorry that introduction took so stinking long, but very grateful for that. Bethany, hello, Mr. Bannister. Sup, Friday. Sup to you. By the way, staff, you guys, you need to bring me down some water. Oh, boy's pipes are pretty dry. We got to have that. Brian Parker says, Wolfpack strong, baby. Blam! Wolfpack strong. It's the way we are, dude. We're howling at the sun every single day. Okay, it says, it'd be super fun if you threw a sign off with the fam on the highlight reel. That's a smart move. That is a very smart move. I don't know why I didn't think about that. We did a family sign off last night too. Yep. Jenny DeYoung says, good morning, all. Yes, good morning to you. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're rejoicing. Yeah. All right, here. Jeff Belton, he's over at Periscope. He wrote something like, lost, give up, it's over. Yeah, see, this is somebody who's a low information person. They don't understand. You know what's funny is people were actually saying the exact same thing as him back, and he would have, in fact, maybe he's old enough he was doing this. I bet you money, if he's old enough, that he was the same kind of person who was telling his conservative friends back in 2000, get over it, Al Gore won. Get over it, guys. Your guy lost. Al Gore won. Didn't you see it in the paper? Low information, man. Don't even worry about them. We just squat them away. They're done. Ryan says, taking a no-calorie, no-carb monster straight to the dome this morning. Monster? Is that a monster? Are you talking slurm? Talking slurm, dude, to the dome? Oh, dude, man, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's good for the old insulin levels. He's like, I got my monster, the BFC, straight in my hand, in a can, blam! I'm like, dude, bro, I don't know, Brian. I don't know if you do that, dude. Yeah, okay. Ugh, you're so wrong about the cranberry sauce debate time. You're going to lose, Bethany. As I said, Gordon Ramsay says that canned cranberry sauce is the only way to actually do it. It's the one exception that he makes around the world for anything. There's nothing else that he will make an exception for. Okay, just canned cranberry sauce. By the way, what did you guys eat yesterday? Anything weird? Anything weird at all? Yeah, okay, my marriage is an adult. Yeah, because it's 18 years. It's true. It's true, man. Ah, boy. Let's see. Praying for all, everything, and for all things through Mary's powerful intercession, uniting prayer. I hope watching you from Democratic Republic of Congo. Hey, how awesome is that, by the way? Nice to see you. It's nice to see you, and I'm glad that you're praying. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah, happy 18th from Jim and Karen. Jim, Jim, it's good to see you, man. Yes. Thank you for the email, too, by the way. Yes, or for the message. I appreciate that. And your wife's name is Karen. We will make an exception for that. I normally rag on Karen's, but just as an asterisk, right, for all time, I'm not talking Jim's wife. Jim's wife is the cool Karen. There's a couple of them, aren't there? Aren't there a couple? Silence says Trudeau is the worst. He might be, in my opinion, the most annoying world leader. Like, he's the guy that you just shake your head and you're like, what's wrong with Canadians? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do that? I get we've had our own. We had George W. Bush, but dude, Trudeau, give me a break, man. Give me a break. Let's see. Elections. Canada lied and said that Canada does not use these technologies in our elections. They are used, and you have evidence to prove it. Dude, send that stuff to me, man. Rebel News also reported monies that changed hands from Trudeau and Dominion and the Clintons. Dude, of course, man. It's a global scheme, by the way. Imagine that, globalists in a global scheme. Yeah. The Art of the Meme says, what do you think of international spelling errors in those submissions? Weaponized spelling errors to get the media to cover it? What do you mean by that? Spelling errors in those submissions? What are you talking about? Art of the Meme. What are you talking about, man? Weaponized spelling errors for the media to cover it? Oh, man. I don't know. There's spelling errors like in Trump's tweets, and I don't think it's always intentional, but I know that Mike Cernovich sometimes does it on purpose. Because then it ends up bringing more traffic, and people are like, oh, what's this all about? Or there was one, actually, where Trump, there was certain misspellings with the L where it was a number 1, and that's just so far away from where, I mean, that's a weird mistake, right? That's a weird mistake, man. Let's see. I can't believe how many people do not believe the OWO is real. What is the OWO? Did you mean to say New World Order? Or the Old World Order? What is OWO? What is that? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay, everybody, please pray for Sister Ramita. She's been kidnapped for more than 18 days. Yeah, wow. That's crazy. I don't know that story. If you got that story, send it to me. paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. David Valdez says, I think about that often in the good old days. I'm assuming he's talking about the idea of freedom. Okay, the idea of privacy. Okay, and the way that the world used to work. I don't know. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's not what he's talking about. You got to make it a little more clear, right? Because I'll go back and I'll check these out. But my whole idea of telling you this is you should go and check it out, because you'll be able to see, no matter where you are, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, DLive, YouTube, any channel at all. Even if you're only if you're on a smaller YouTube channel and you're not at like Holy Faith Media, or you're not at Paleocrat, or you're on one of the other channels, maybe you're on Catholic Live on Facebook, doesn't matter. Wherever you are, if you comment, it goes into this master feed, and that's the main purpose I've got in showing it here. So, okay, last thing, stop the steal. Remember, there's going to be a bunch of great speakers, guys, and, oh boy, here's one of them. Oh boy, here's going to be speaking on Saturday. Oh my gosh, that's tomorrow. Okay, so I got a plan, man. I got to work it out, dude. I got to do better. I got to nail it, man, because I rocked it last time. If you haven't heard my speech from last time, you can hear it. It was powerful. It was powerful. I got to say, if I could say so myself. I heard it from many reputable sources. In fact, I think a scientific poll said it was one of the greatest speeches ever delivered. So, no, it was a really good time. And you can hear what I had to say. You can hear it over at Paleocrap. Right here. We will not allow them to steal our country. Michigan doesn't give up. Hosted by the Michigan Patriot Hub Council. at patriothub.org. Stop the Steal, Michigan Capital. And somebody should have let them know that Capital has an O. I love you guys, and I'm sorry to call you out, but man, it's got an O. It's got an O in it, man. Oh, man, you guys. You're killing me. Oh, I love you guys, man. This might have been a first draft. I think it was. I'll throw myself under the bus. I'll throw myself under the bus, man, and say I should have shared the second draft. Somebody in their good heart made the bottom of this and was like, oh, oops, it was a mistake. They made the second draft, shared that. It's probably my fault. I'm not throwing the maker of this meme under the bus, man. I guess I kind of already did, but you know what I'm saying. All right, on to the funny stories. If you got funny stories, you got to make sure that you share them, and you can share them by sending them, of course, on social media, and you can also share them at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. And I like that because that way I don't always, I like being taken off guard, man. I like being taken off guard because it's a lot of fun. And speaking of taken off guard, my staff still has not brought down the water. I'm dying down here. I'd love to be able to divine that, to have like a little stick. I need a little stick in a rock and pull a Moses and just hit the rock. Have some water come out and do that, but it's not going to work. Oh my gosh. I took these pills today. Now I'm on a whole new level. Okay. The green distracted me. I was thinking like, maybe it's kind of going to be a Ninja Turtle thing, And then I see the little bubble and the little lines, and I'm like, oh, this is a dad joke, isn't it, guys? Is this a dad joke? How old was the dad, do you think, that made this joke? How old was he? And how white was he, by the way? Oh, you're a boomer white guy. You're a boomer white guy, man. We love our boomer white guys. Because they're dad jokes like this, right? Oh. Okay, what was this? Oh, Steve Inman. Okay, I gotta warn you guys. Let's see if we can get that a little bigger. Okay. So Steve Inman is hilarious. He's also a little bit foul-mouthed, and so I don't know if there's naughty words on here. If there are, we play clips that end up having naughty words and stuff, and I'm not entirely sure. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And so, but he's always funny. This is a little bit pixelated though, isn't it, guys? Why is it so pixelated? It's pixelated no matter what. Okay. Apparently this blob over here with a little sticky thing over here, that's a cat to the right. And that looks like a pool or something behind it, one of those little kiddie pools, and a dog. Okay, so what are they doing here?
Weightless class as the dog gets set to take on the cat. The cat throwing a nice right, backing things up. Oh, and a big hurricane kick. It appears to be a Paulus.
Wow, dude. Wow. I don't. Normally, guys, you know me. I'm on the cat's side. I love dogs. It's true. But I've seen dogs do some, things that I just don't know. And I have a feeling that the cats, by and large, not all of them, there's always going to be dissenters. There's always going to be naughty cats and stuff like that. But I think the cats are really on our side. I think the cats are totally on our side. And I think dogs, they are, but I think they try to get in between us and the cats. I think that's what they're trying to do. And it's propaganda that they say that the dog is man's best friend. I just simply don't know if that's true. I think it's propaganda. And that really it's the cat. And I think the cat is man's best friend. And that the dog tries to get in between that. I think if the dog didn't do that, and if the propaganda wasn't so successful for so long, we'd probably be walking around with cats on leashes and having cats in the pickup truck while we go and pick up our Milwaukee best. So I think... and people will be like, that's a nice cat you got there. And I'm like, I know. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, okay. My daughter Teresa brought it down for me. Very grateful. Hold on, we got. I'll show it real quick. You got to get in here. You see this little? You see the little circle here? Get your face in. Oh, no, behind the chair. There we go. Keep scooching over more. A little more. Keep scooching. Keep scooching. There you go. And there she is, right there. Teresa Avila. Wave to everybody. Yep. Other hand. Okay, well, I'm not even going to try. I love you. Get out of here, baby. Get out of here, baby. Mm. Oh, man. Somebody said put down the crack pipe. Oh, my gosh. You know what's hilarious? I've had people, seriously, that they'll comment and they're like, dude, I think you're on drugs, bro, on the show. And I'm thinking, wait a second. Number one, I'm kind of chubby, okay? I guess you could be on, crazy drugs and stuff like that and be overweight. I also drink a gallon of coffee every day. I mean, I would be like heart attack guy doing crazy drugs like this. And also, just a fact, just to let you know, I haven't done drugs in a very long time. I rarely ever even take things like, Tylenol, anything like aspirin, stuff like that. And I don't do that stuff, man. I maintain the Catholic position regarding drugs. And so, that's just the way that is. I'm a faithful son of the West, son of the Catholic Church. And so I don't play around with that. Although maybe we'll talk about drugs sometime. But we got to see this one more time. We got to see this one more time. Here we go.
Backing things up. Oh, and a big hurricane kick. It appears
Did you see that, man?
Victory.
Did you see that kick? Wow. I mean, he just spun around. Go back to your litter box. Okay, he said naughty word there. But yeah, go back to your litter box. Oh, man. I feel bad for the cat. The cat didn't see it coming. But dude, that dog, I got to admit, man, that dog, that was, it's pretty... That's pretty intense. What's this, dude? What is this? It just says, I'm crying. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I want it that big. Here we go. We'll go ahead and just put it right there. Why not? Forget it. There we go.
But she's spinning like that, yo.
Hold on. Wait a second. I was getting the volume ready, and I'm like, what? Spinning like what? And I see it, I'm thinking, whoa. Dude, those are like Ninja Turtles? What the heck is that? Are those the Ninja Turtles? What's this? It is the Ninja Turtles, dude. It says pizza. It's got the turtle shell. What is this?
But she's spinning like that, yo.
Okay. Dude, what would you do in that situation? It looked like she was trying to like unbuckle, and I'm thinking, lady, you're hanging upside down. You're about 10 feet above the ground. You don't want to do that. Believe me, spinning around in circles, neatly and safely buckled in, is actually going to be better for you than falling down head first. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Not a good idea. Oh, what is this crap? What is this? Okay, I'm seeing it. Oh no. Dude, okay, she's in a band now. I didn't know that. I didn't know she was in a hardcore metal band. I had no idea about that. And with this guy, I mean, you know, and they're sticking true to the lockdown restrictions, right? They're social distancing their band. And so, you know, he's playing the guitar and she's over there, he's shredding, doing that thing, you know, smoke coming off of his fingers and everything. And she's just screaming. And she's kind of a one-hit wonder, though. That's my fear. You know, she made that video. It looked and sounded almost exactly like this, didn't it, guys? But she makes it. She makes, I think it was a TikTok video or something. I don't know where it was. And she's screaming at everybody, doing that nonsense. Oh my gosh, man. You know, it's kind of funny, man. I guess I don't know. I never would have imagined that you would take that to, you know, a musical degree. You know, that she'd say, well, I'm going to really crank it up to 11 and add some guitar. I need to reach out to a friend. Or did he reach out to her? You know, I mean, you know, how did it break down? What's the name of the band, too? What's the name of the band? Oh, goodness gracious, guys. Okay, is this in the... This... I'm so sorry. I don't know why. Is this part of the Thanksgiving thing? Like, what? Why? Right now. I thought I told the staff, I said, look, tone it down, trim down the fat shaming stuff. We got to tighten it up on the funny stuff, right? Because we have to make sure that everything fits. What body positivity should mean versus what it means to fat leftists. Okay. This has to be under the Thanksgiving thing. Yeah. And the people say, my tropical obsession, is that even her? Yeah, dude, I think that is her. I think that is her. Yeah. In fact, I'm positive. I think it's the exact same video. People are just having fun. All right. Here's what the one lady on the left says. I was never the same after the accident, but now I have become more active to stay confident. I'm teaching that to burn victim Billy here. So you got Billy. You know, he's really sad. He's a burn victim and stuff. And she had an accident, so she's got a prosthetic. You know, that's what's going on with that. And then, why? Dude, why this? Why the drawing, dude? Who drew this crap? It's like a Picasso a little bit. It says, I love being fat. Don't tell me how to live my life, doctor. Body positivity. You know, hashtag, ew, a diet. I love stuffing my face. Just accept me for who I am. I smell like rotten eggs under my folds. I can't even do just thinking about a fold and lifting it up, and it's like, you know, the sweaty and crusty and the egg smell. Oh, I can't deal with this picture very long. Okay, I think this is in the Thanksgiving file. Okay, so somebody went on Thanksgiving. I guess somebody went to a bar.
Yeah! That's how they're rocking it.
What? Woo! Why? Why are you sending this? Oh, okay, that's why you're sending it. But why are you sending this to me? Who took this video? Which one of you guys was at the bar on Thanksgiving? Maybe it was a mask protest, because nobody in here, you're not social distancing, obviously. You're not wearing masks. Was this your date? I sure hope not. I sure hope not. I don't know. Okay, in the comment section, real quick, Art of the Meme said, intentional errors in Sidney Powell's briefs. It was either purposeful or makes you go, wow. I don't know. I don't know much about the spelling errors in there. Don't know much about the spelling errors in there. All right, what's this? Okay, so we've got a cat. We've got a cat meme, guys. That's the way this is. Okay.
Ooh, goose.
Oh. Okay. Yeah! Wake up, everyone! Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Yeah, see, that we need to hire these cats stat. We need to hire them stat. Staff, immediately, get on it. You guys got to get on it, man. The intercom's not down here. Intercom busted, man. I'm done. You guys got to get on it with greater haste than you got my water. You guys took, like, I don't know, 5 minutes to get me my water. Where is it? You took 5 minutes. We need to reach out immediately to the agent. Whoever sent us this, we've got to reach out to him. We need this group here to be the live band for this show. It pumped me up, man. It pumped me up. It's just what it is. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, that's so great. Okay. So here we go, another video. Okay, so there's more videos today than there are stories, news. I can do that every once in a while. That's kind of nice. You know, normally we go through stories and you read the details and stuff. So these kind of take me by surprise. I have no idea what's going on with this. It doesn't look very good. It really does not look good. Okay. Okay, here we go, guys. What is this? There's no sound. Oh! Oh, no. No. No way, dude. Oh, hold on. And look at the one guy. Look at the guy in the stripes. He's like, oh, no. Ah. I'd be like, no. No, you will not do this. They're like, hey, why don't you lay down, buddy? Why don't you just go lay down? In the comments, Patrick Ward says, Jesus, I trust in you. Whatever is coming, it's coming fast. Maybe Patrick Ward, that was what he said as this dude here was running down the thing. Just keep in mind what Patrick Ward said. Whatever is coming, it's coming fast. This is it. Let's see what happened to Patrick Ward. We're going to find out. Where's Patrick? Oh! Where's Patrick? Which one? Which one, Patrick, is you, buddy? Which one is you, bro? I don't think he meant that at all. I think he was I don't know what he's talking about. We're shoving you in there, Patrick. We're saying you're one of these people. Which one are you? Which one are you? Are you the one, the guy, the closest one that was like saved from it, you know? And he's like, oh man, thank God. Or are you the guy in the red and white stripes and you're like, Lord, I knew it was coming fast. I just didn't know it was coming, you know, that fast. Oh, okay, we got a story. All right, it's good. Man arrives at wedding with 6 pregnant women and claims he's the dad of them all. What the heck, dude? Where is this? Oh, Nigeria. He's a nightclub owner. Caused a stir after turning up to a friend's wedding with 6 pregnant women on his arm, claiming he is the father of all the kids. What is wrong with this guy? Like, look, I get it. He's kind of looking, you know, like a mix of Shaft and Blade. A little bit. I mean, isn't he? Right? Isn't he? Who would you guys say this guy looks like? Any which way you go about it, though, somebody looking like that, I don't care if you look like that or not. It doesn't make any sense. 6 ladies. You know, in fairness, though, I've seen documentaries on the Mormons. Like the fundamentalist Mormons, right? That believe that Jesus is going to come back in what Missouri? Is it Independence? that him and Joseph Smith. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes of like Trump and Putin riding on a dinosaur and stuff. That's kind of what the Mormons are thinking when they're talking about Jesus and Joseph Smith coming back now. Basically the same thing. Yeah. And he's going to come down to Missouri. And those people, you know, they've got a bunch of wives and crap. And you look at those guys and you're like, you know, and they all talk kind of, you know, that they're all hard and stuff. And they're like, you know, it's destiny kind of thing. And, you know, and they discern the women and all this crap. And you look and you go, well, they're kind of hit, dude. They are not attractive guys. I mean, it at that point is just entirely the power of that delusion. That's all it is. This guy, you know, he's a nightclub owner, you know, and he's wearing pink tight pants and stuff and turtlenecks. He's got a gold belt buckle and maybe snake skin or whatever shoes. So obviously he's got a lot more going on for him. He's got huge pectoral muscles and stuff. And so he's obviously got more going on for him than those Mormons. But he's also got that really dumb 1990s goatee that just, you say, man, guy, you know, the 90s are calling. They want their chin fuzz back. You think the ladies would recognize that? They'd be like, you know, you are really buff, but you've got that gross goatee, dude. What's wrong with you? Why? What was that all about? Why would you know, what's the point of sharing that particular story with me? Oh, I've got to turn the pause for this site. Only a couple more funny ones. We got to move on. We got to move on, guys. I've got so many more, though. I've got so many more. And I don't just want to talk all serious all the time. That's the other thing, man. Man's proposal is scuppered. What does scuppered mean? Oh, TikTok. Oh, okay. Yeah, TikTok. Again, guys, we have to start out. This might be true. It might be, you know. But anytime you see TikTok and you know that some chick is TikToking it up, you have to go, I don't know. We're going to have to put it through a series of tests for validation. Because you don't know what you can believe anymore on there. You don't know what you can believe. So here we go. We're going to find out what does it mean? We're going to find out what it means that a man's proposal is scuppered. Oh, loading ad? I don't think so. Are you serious? I don't think so, dude. No way.
Are we good? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, this time I'm not kidding.
No! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Gracie, will you marry me?
What does that mean? Oh, okay, because so she hit him. She slapped him right across the head, really quite hard. Thwack. And he says, no, this time I'm actually not kidding. And she bursts into tears and starts squealing. Yeah. Before her boyfriend then pops the big question, to which she thankfully says yes. And in her defense, she says, in my defense, I thought he was trolling me. Okay, you know, hey. Maybe. I mean, look, you know, that happens sometimes. My mom is stunned to find Baby Yoda staring back at her in her sausage and mash. Can you guys see that? Does that really look like Baby Yoda to you, or is it, you know, really, really, really a force, you know, stretch of the imagination to see that? Let's see here. Scupper is a 6-inch rail on the port side of the flight deck on a ship. Dang, son. Okay, that I guess. Yeah, woman, 6-inch railed her boyfriend on the port side of the flight. How would you put that into a story? You know, okay, so I mean, it would be the 6-inch rail. Maybe the hand, you know, whacking. I don't know. Kathy in the comments, yes. Hello, Wolfpack. Hello to you. Hello to you. I'm so happy to see you. I'm happy to see you all the time. I know you work really hard. And so I know, yeah. Somebody said, Ailey said that it looks like Stitch. To me, that doesn't look like Baby Yoda. I'm not even going to read this. Plus, I think that the mom just put that together that way. It's artistically done. Maybe a little too much on the gravy side. And I normally don't like to say that. But it might be a little too much, man. It might be a little too much. Deep fried boiled eggs. I farted when I saw this. I'm all distracted by the eggs, man. I almost missed it. I farted when I saw this. Okay. Oh, would you guys eat that? I would. Almost anything deep fried. I love it. I love it. Okay. What is this? When I accidentally select Espanol at the ATM, but still successfully complete my transaction. Yes. I feel the same way, dude. I feel that same way. Have you ever done that? Have you ever accidentally pushed, you know, Espanol? Have you ever done it? Oh, man. Dude, it's you know, it's not too hard. Most of the time, it's just English words with O's at the end. Oh. Okay. It's not. That's not how it works. Oh. I hope people know, man. I'm just kidding. I don't want anybody to be like, did you hear what he said about Spanish? Blah! Like, come on, man. Come on, dude. You really think I believe that? Only half the words end with O. The other ones are increasingly ending with the letter X. Especially in leftist dictionaries. Oh my gosh. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard this. Was it 93% of Latinos reject the X at the end? They say, oh, that's crazy. So 7%. And you're like, oh, that's about the, I don't know, percentage that may in fact have some kind of, you know, Trump derangement syndrome, other kinds of mass psychosis type stuff going on with that. And you go, yeah, It affects about that number. It's about that. I think it's pretty safe to say it's a scientific fact. But yeah, if you ever pushed Espanol on ATM or on a TV, I tried watching a movie recently. I had to, and I don't. I watch some. I won't even say a movie. There are some movies I watch that I don't pick those. You know, I'm part of a show that we do movie reviews, and sometimes the guests they give us a list of them, and sometimes we take them off guard. And I watched one that I didn't necessarily like, and I wouldn't even encourage other people to watch it at all. I'd be like, look, for a lot of different reasons, there would be a lot of skipping ahead. It's pretty gross, you know. But the thing is that when I first started playing it, for some reason, the option on Amazon Prime was on where it's like, what is it called, man? Audio description. And I'd never had an audio description feature on any movie before. So I'd never even gone to that option to even click on it at all, that feature. And so I'm listening, and there's this voice. It's this robotic dude who's like, woman walks into the road, gets hit by a car, lays on the ground. Car slams into pole. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, is this supposed to be here on this movie? And I was getting so upset about it. And Ailey comes down, and I should have just known. She knows what she's talking about. She's a genius. She keeps me on track all the time. And so I should have just trusted her. But I didn't. And she's like, well, it says you can put it in French or in English with, you know, audio description. I'm like, yes, but I'm like, I don't want to hear the French description either. And I'm like, it should just say off. I should just be able to turn it off. Oh, no, the movie is in French. The movie's in French. And I'm like, so I was mad. I'm like, come on now. You're leading me astray. You're wasting my time, woman. Never. Never, 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 never. And yes, by the way, Advent, begins in 2 days. Begins in 2 days. Very excited about that. Yeah. My stomach hurts. Mom, you're fine. Doctor, you're fine. Google, you have mere seconds to live. Dude, yes. Do not, by the way, do not go online. I know I do it sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's this thing going on with me? I better look it up online. And you go and you look it up, and you got a bazillion different, tracks that you can do. And you're like, okay, well, here's the symptoms this, here's the symptoms that. And you realize that there's an overlap in symptoms that's amazing. It's just amazing. And you're like, it kind of makes you wonder, man, I guess it does make sense that doctors go to school for a long time. It does make sense that I'm not a doctor and that I go to one. Although, to be fair, I think that there are many things. In fact, some of the things that I've discovered through journalistic means, with things that I've studied throughout the years, I've actually brought things to the attention of different doctors, even stuff to do with proton pump inhibitors, for example, and the VA in Wyoming, Michigan. At first, the doctor was like, I know they're perfectly fine and no problem. And I said, there's actually a lot of problems with proton pump inhibitors. And I started talking to him about it. And within a matter of about 2 weeks, it was a sign. I don't know. I don't want to take credit for it, but sequentially, I know there'd be a logical fallacy to just assume that that's the case. It's kind of like, well, it's wet outside. It must have rained. And it's like, you didn't see the guy with the hose over here. And so there may have been a bigger cause, something like that. It may have been, at a higher level that came down and said, look, we need to be more forthright about what's going on with these PPIs. But they put signs all over the place. And that's not the only one, actually, that I've talked to them about where stuff has come around about it. All right. When you're home alone doing weird crap and you hear the key in the door. What's the weirdest thing you guys have ever been doing? And keep it family friendly. What's the weirdest thing you guys have ever been doing in real time? And in real life, it's not a fake story. It's totally true. You're doing this thing and somebody walks into the door and they're like, woo, son. Yeah. In the comments, it said PPIs are side effects. Diet can greatly help acid reflux. Yes, totally. Yes, totally. In fact, there's all sorts of things that you can do to change that. Diet, exercise. There's a whole lot of things that you can do that are going to change, how much you struggle with certain things with heartburn. In fact, it may not, that can hide other problems that you have ultimately because of diet and exercise. That's the last one. That was the last one, guys. Oh. Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah. So it's 1 hour. We're about we're a little bit over 1 hour.
5,
Okay, we did a good job.
4,
Oh, no.
3,
No. I always do that. Why do I do that? It happens all the time. I'm like, "Ugh, shut it off, man." There's a feature for that, isn't there? Isn't there a feature for that? I think there is. I think there is, man. You know, somebody in here says, Pirate2980, watching Fox News. Who's watching Fox News? I'm not watching Fox News. You don't know me, son. I don't watch Fox News. In fact, we talk often about turning off Fox News. And not just recently. I'm talking like for years of my life. For years of my life. I'm a journalist, man. I study media theory. I have done so at an academic level for many years. I have talked about it over AM, FM radio, podcast, television, and live streaming for many, many years. Okay? So I'm really hoping that you're, not in here going, "Oh, these people are watching Fox News," or that you think I am. That's as bad. And look, I like Rush Limbaugh insofar as Rush Limbaugh, he has over the years, he's been many different things. In fact, in fairness to him, he's changed with times, he's changed with circumstance. But the fact is, for many, many years of his life, he was just a raging neocon. He just was. And I wasn't a neoconservative. There were a lot of things that I disagreed with him on. A ton of things. I was more, and plus, I was more in some ways, in the ways that I'm a paleoconservative, I was far more paleoconservative than him. Dramatically so. In the ways that were the aspects of my life that were more libertarian, I looked at him and I said, he's a cookie cutter conservative guy. He's a cookie cutter conservative guy. And Rupert Murdoch, in the comments, Rupert Murdoch and Fox News, bye-bye. Yeah, Rupert Murdoch, go back and look at the history of Rupert Murdoch, especially when it comes to immigration, man. I'm dead serious. I've been talking immigration reform for a very, very long time. And by immigration reform, I'm talking highly restrictive. I'm talking not just illegal immigration. I'm talking legal immigration. Dramatically. Refugees. Extreme vetting. For years of my life. Years of my life. And the idea, and being anti-war, when they were beating the drum, when Fox News is beating the drum, boom, 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 and they're doing that, when Fox News is doing that for Afghanistan and Iraq, and when they're doing that, trying to get people pumped to go to war in Syria, trying to get people pumped up to go to war in Iran, trying to get people pumped up to go to war everywhere in the world because they've embraced the idea of Globocop, Team America World Police, I was sitting there opening some of the first pages ever published by American Conservative Magazine. So you know what, dude? If that's what you're saying by saying you're watching Fox News by this or accusing me of watching Fox News, you can go screw yourself. You don't know me, son. You don't know me, son. Whap, whap, whap. Easy to deal with you. Blah, blah. Not hard. Let's see here. Mommy Michaud dancing with my kids and making shift costumes, singing to music videos, and Dad walks in from work. We all have towels, spatulas, brushes for microphones, and strange... Okay, yes, funny stories. Okay, I got you. Yes, Mommy Michaud. Okay, so you guys are dancing. You're having a good time. You're doing all this crazy stuff. You got towels and brushes and spatulas, and you're dancing around acting crazy and strange hats and acting like microphones. And all of a sudden, Papa Bear walks in the door, and everybody stops and looks. Did you guys keep dancing? Please tell me you did. Please tell me you kept dancing, Mommy Michaud. Ah, man. Yes. All right. Real quick before we move on. In fact, I'm going to do let me see here. I'll get back to this. Let's see, Maine. Yeah, all right. So we'll get back to this. I'm going to go ahead just for a minute. I've been showing for a while now. I've actually been showing a video from the school that we send our kids to. And, I don't want to do that every single day. It is a great video. I'm going to have a whole bunch of other videos that I want to start doing, but I want to start actually showing you things of my kids, not just of the school in general, right? I might mix that in once a week or something like that, but I'm going to start mixing in stuff about my kids where you can see what's going on with my kids in the school, because that's why I do the show. Every single penny that this show makes, every single penny, and every penny we make is from you guys. We don't make money by going and getting commercial sponsors. I don't want them lording it over me. I don't ever want to have it to where I'm biting my fingernails at night, wondering if we're going to be able to pay some bills because maybe I said the wrong thing and a bunch of left or the right thing with, the wrong words. And a bunch of crazy leftist weirdos and censorious big tech weirdos go and start protesting with all of the sponsors that we've got. And the sponsors are pressured and say, we're against Jeremiah, and they pull out and we're gone and all that stuff. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. In fact, my show isn't for them anyway. My show is for you. I do this show every single day for you, and I do it so that you could be inspired and be the best person that you can be doing whatever it is that you do. If you're working, if you're playing, if you're a housewife, if you're a nanny, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing, that you do it the very best you can, giving it everything you've got, every single minute of every single day. That's why we do it. And my hope is that you're so inspired, in fact, and just outright just having fun, that you're living in a time that's really dark and it's so easy to get depressed. It's so easy to feel helpless. And you go, dude, I just want to wake up and hear some animal memes. I want to hear about the animal uprising. I want to hear Jeremiah, fat shame himself with the jihad on fat, the blah, 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 and waving his saber around. And I just want to laugh. I just want to cry a little bit. Okay? I do that for you guys, hoping that in having done so, that you can reach down into what you've got for yourself. And some of you, you don't have a lot. You're not even working. Maybe social distancing, maybe, a positive COVID test or whatever the heck has made it such. It's okay. I hope you enjoy the show. It's free. I post it every day. Even my unlisted ones are free. You just got to go to the website. I don't put it behind a paywall. We do have members, so there will be things that are for members only. But as of right now, 100% of the stuff that I do is literally available to everybody. But any money that you do give, if you become a member at the site or whatever, if you become a member, it's $5 a month. If you do donations, you can do that through PayPal. Okay, we have a PayPal account. You can contact us for that. Okay, we got to put it on a website. We got to do it. But you can contact. In fact, it might be, well, no, if you go to the connect part of the website at paleocratdiaries.com, if you go and you do that, and you'll see a video in a second. But every penny that we make of that is paying for our kids to go to school. And we're cranking out so many kids, that ain't going to get any cheaper. Because in a couple of years, there's going to be another kid. In a year and a half after that, there's going to be another kid. And so we're just going to keep cranking them out, guys. And it's going to be costing me lots of money. It's a really great school, and we normally show videos of it. But I wanted to show today. I'm going to step away for a second. I'm just going to show you the Meaning of Catholic promo that I made that is just him talking about how to subscribe at the website, and then we'll be right back for the Wolfpack song, and then we're getting into the serious business, guys. The next hour and a half of the show, if it goes that long. We got a bunch of amazing news. You're not going to want to go anywhere, so stick around. And remember, every single Monday through Friday from 10ish until noonish or 1ish is Paleocrat Diaries, and we have a really great time, so make sure to like. If you haven't liked it yet, like it right now, please. If you haven't commented, comment right now. We're going to talk about them. And if you haven't shared it, consider sharing it with your family and friends, your classmates and coworkers, even your frenemies, right? Get under their skin a little bit. Say, hey, man, this guy's cracking up. He's making fun of people. you gotta come in here. It's a whole bunch of fun here. He's doing a deep dive into this and that. And he's having a really good time, and I hope you come and you enjoy it. But no matter what, stay tuned in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this really, really brief promo for paleocratdiaries.com.
Just so people know, if I go to your website, paleocratdiaries.com.
Yeah, man.
So here's the site. And so if I scroll down here, it has all posts. If I just want to subscribe to your next video, where do I go here?
Let's see here. It might be at the bottom. I've never subscribed to my own site. I've never gone through this. I should. This is fancy. You're all fancy pants on me right now.
Well, so this has got your stuff from. If I just go to all posts,
go to the spooktacular one. Go back up. That's funny right there, man. There's a expose the COVID thing. It's a hilarious political satire because it's funny. You got to click on the actual article itself, or else you're just gonna watch the video right there.
Would you recommend people subscribing to you on YouTube?
No. Yes and no. I would say do it right here. If you go on, click on tonight, right there. Tonight, our Halloween special.
Yeah.
Yep, click on that. And then down at the bottom, Yep, scroll down to the bottom of that. Yeah, that's my spooktacular. Yep.
Okay.
Well, no, scroll down. Keep scrolling. Right
Oh,
there.
we got subscribe right here. Here we go.
Subscribe. If you subscribe, and look at the colors, man, it's playful and fun. It's playful. And so the thing is, we have a really good time. And if you subscribe, we don't spam people. We don't send a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? In fact, the only updates you'll get are if I update the site at all with the video from the day. And what I do is I try to make it so that we have timestamps and topics. So we have a table of content. If it's a really cool article or a series of them, I will hyperlink those to the topic. And the timestamp, you can just click on that bad boy and it will take you directly to that topic. So you don't have to fumble around for 2 hours. I mean, that's, I'm cranking out 12 and a half hours a week of original content, not including exclusive videos that are unlisted, that the only way to watch those, like the spooktacular one that was really, all it is funny. It's only fun, funny stories. That's it. And I think I wore a sombrero. It was a lot of fun. You can watch that, but you have to watch it at the.com. So if you subscribe, you'll get those, but we're not going to send anything else. We don't share any of your stuff.
Yeah, if you just go to paleograddiaries.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can subscribe to our newsletter. Put your email in, get all your posts.
You see me in my uniform, and you think I'm going to school.
You think I'm studying, doing my homework, practicing my Latin.
You're not completely wrong. The truth is this. What looks like an academy is in fact where I am learning to dig deep.
To search with an attentive heart what all men seek, but few can name.
Wisdom, knowledge, it's the fountain of life and holiness. A sacred temple, the very house of God and gate of heaven.
What I seek, what I have learned to desire, is the desire of the everlasting hills. I am looking to lose myself in the sacred heart of Jesus.
It may look like I'm going to school, but in truth, I am learning to chase after my Savior, the King and center of all hearts.
And I will not rest
until I take hold of him,
who has already taken hold of me.
We will find
This is where my kids go to school. This is what I do this show for. This is the heart of the show. It's what makes me come alive every single day. Samantha, Athanasius, Ambrose, Teresa, Lucian, and Wolfgang, Ailey, the Team Tiny Dancer family, and Sacred Heart. It's why I do what I do. I'm sorry that was a little bit off-centered there. I do apologize, guys. I do apologize that it was a little bit off-centered. Not sure exactly why that's the case. We're going to have to work on that bugger. What the heck, man? Why'd that happen? Why'd that happen, man? It's killing me over here. It's killing me over here. All right, make sure. Raise this glass super dupe high, guys. Raise it super dupe high because we are going to howl at the sun. So what we're going to do, let's get over here to the main screen. Let's get over here to the main screen. We got to do this, okay? So you got to make sure. I don't care what you got. I know some people are drinking tea. I got a buddy right now who he's got his BFC full of slurm. I don't know why. Why are you drinking that, bro? Why are you doing that? He's like 0 calorie, 0 carb. I'm like, dude, it's a slurm. Oh my gosh, I would call it Brondo, but the Build Back Better is the new Brondo. Okay, so I can't call it Brondo. It's the new, well, Brondo has electrolytes. Build Back Better kind of crap, But if you have water, And I'll even say that. I'll say with excitement, if you got a glass of water, if you've got a glass of water, raise it half staff. Raise it half staff. Oh, I forgot to include, I've got a new video. I have a new video. Someone sent me something. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to include that. Someone sent me a video saying, I'm part of the wolf pack. Ow! And had a really cool mug and Christmas lights and everything. Everything, man. And I forgot to include it to re-edit, to include that clip. That clip, it'll premiere on Monday. Okay, so we'll have a new Wolfpack member. And if you want to be included, it doesn't have to be a video. It could just simply be you holding your mug high. No matter where you are, if you're in a class or if you're in, a public space, if you're working, I don't care where you are. If it's just you in a car, I don't care where you are. If you're raising that glass high and you're howling to the sun, if that's what you're doing, make sure to take a video of it, send it to us, and we will put it in the Wolfpack song because we rock out to that bugger every single day, beginning right
Just so people know, if I go to your website, paleocratdiaries.com.
Yeah. Woo! All right. Here we go. Look at these kids. Ow! Come on. Today's the day the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice. High octane. Let's go. Ow! Come on, son. It's hot, boy. Look at that boy. Look at him go. Yeah, look at that face. Come on, kid. Come on, girl. Here we go. To the dog. You got to give it everything you got. At your work, at your home, at play, at church, everything you got. Yeah, boy. Yes, boy. Oh, man. I love all those people. I always say I love that little dude. And I do love that little dude. I do love that little guy. And we're gonna need a video of the whole group, the staff. In fact, I will record the video of the staff dancing to the Wolfpack song. Okay, so we're gonna get the whole staff because we gotta have them. I talk about them all the time. We gotta make sure that we get them all. So very, very pumped up. Very, very excited about that. All right, real quick in the comments section. Here. People asking about recipe for what? The cranberry? You're asking Bethany for her recipe for the cranberry sauce. Is that what it is, Jim? Don't waste your time, dude. Trust me. Master chefs around the world say you don't need Bethany's recipe. You can get it in the can. The cranberry sauce in the can, the blob of jello-y goo that comes out in a big blob and jiggles around. That is the most authentic cranberry sauce that's ever been made. You don't need to mess with anything else. Ched, 1983, with a big heart. I love you too, Ched. Oh, man. Oh, boy. I'm grateful, by the way. A lot of ladies in the chat room. And here's the thing. I know a lot of these shows, man. A lot of these Catholic shows hosted by Catholic guys, they play into this real masculine thing all the time. And I mean, I'm bursting with masculinity, right? It's emanating. It is emanating from me, right? I'm trying to be the embodiment of fatherhood and manhood and being a good husband and everything else. Trying to do it, man. Being a warrior for the Lord. Being a warrior in society, man. A true patriot. But at the same time, part of that's not this machismo, right? It's not machismo. And it's got to be something. It was a great example of this. I was at a party recently, a Four Men party. If you don't know what Four Men is, you're missing out. Four Men is a great book. It's a great book by Hilary Belloc. I thought I had it down here. I don't. It's upstairs. So it's a great book by Hilary Belloc, and it's powerful. I mean, I wept. It's funny. You laugh out loud, and I don't laugh out loud a lot reading books, and I don't cry a lot reading books. But I did with both of these, and it was really powerful. But we went to this party. We do it every year, and it's a group of guys. We get together. We eat meat. We eat cheese. We eat bread. And we go outside and we drink beer and we drink port wine and we smoke cigars and pipes and have a blast into the late into the night. We sing songs and all this other stuff. It's a total blast. But we got into a conversation where some of the guys were talking about a friend of theirs who's, he's getting to a certain age, and we all know people like this, right? Especially nowadays, it's kind of tough. But there's, he's a young man, but he's at an age where he's wanting to get married, and he was complaining. He's a little drunk, admittedly, and he wasn't at this party. He was at a different party. He was admittedly a little bit tipsy, right? And he was talking about how he's really frustrated about women, and he wants a woman who's just gonna, obey and be obedient and all this stuff, and he's just throwing it out there and everything. And I thought I had this really, really good thing talking about, well, he needs to understand what it means to be a man, kind of thing, and that he was wrong about this. He wasn't understanding exactly even what those words meant. The words can be used perfectly fine. In fact, it's a biblical precedent. It's a traditional thing. At the same time, he's infusing it with a lot of these strange things. And I said, you got to understand this. And the priest that was with us at this party, he said, well, it's actually his understanding of women. And he needs to understand, but the way he flipped it on its head. And all of us just kind of sat there and we're looking. It was a powerful moment. And all the things he was telling us about the way that he would guide this person. It was an awesome moment. I said, man, I'm really glad. This is my confessor too. So, I mean, one of my confessors. So, it was awesome. It was a powerful moment. But I thought about that and I said, I think that's a problem that a lot of people in the traditional community, whether Catholic or otherwise, in the traditional community that are against modernism, that a lot of them kind of fall on that side of things. Even the well-intended ones that are saying, yeah, there's some issues with that and you really got to better understand this. And it's true, but it's a both and that his understanding was really messed up. And I said, if we could take it from that perspective that the priest brought up, if we could take it from that perspective and begin looking at it in a way that maybe we didn't even when we thought we were being clever, that'd be a powerful thing. And I've tried to do this with the show. And that's why I always incorporate the housewives. I always incorporate the nannies. They're in the comments section, by the way. They're in the comments section. There's tons of them. In fact, you can see all the names. And you can see it and say, there's a reason why we're tapping into an audience that is not normally as vibrant in a lot of shows that are somewhat similar. I don't know if there's any show quite like this one. We're the most bipolar, high octane, high energy show. We might be the most energetic Catholic show online. I don't know any that's wild and crazy. I'm not sure. I even asked yesterday, I said, name another show. Name what shows you guys think we're similar to, because I want to collaborate. I want to network with other people. And they don't have to be exactly like us, but ones that, would be good for us to collaborate with. And some people threw out Steven Crowder. They thought that the show was kind of like him a little bit. Somebody brought up Church Militant, and I thought, we might have similar convictions on certain things, but the style of the show and the personality, the persona, all that stuff, not even close, man. Not even close. It's different strokes, man. It's different things, But I'm really grateful for all of you, men and women alike. Men and women alike, man. Let's see. Talking about It's Not Over, It's Just the Beginning. Charity says, attention Catholics, get the book. She Who Shows the Way. Get praying in groups. Warriors Unite. Hey, I don't know much about the book. Can't say that. Brand says, need the slurm today. We fought the system and had family over to the house for Thanksgiving. That might actually be why you don't want the slurm, dude. Yeah, slurm. It's not going to help you, man. I mean, okay, for the energy level and stuff, it's going to be, it's a super shot. It's a super shot, but then you're going to go blam and just tank. You're going to just fall down. Ryan Dank said, dude, is that really your last name, Dank? Dude, if that's your last name, Ryan, dude, you're amazing. Ryan Dank. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, brother. New to this show. Loving it. Look, I'm actually going to just reply in real time. Check this out. Yeah. Is that your real last name? Is that your real last name? Either way, love it. There we go. Thanks for watching. And hope you tune in again. There we go. There we go. See that? See that? Let's see. So, okay, man. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, we have a lot of things up here. There's a lot more of that. Okay, let's see here. Man, wow. That is really up there. I didn't know there's so many of these. Okay, so yes, it is a Ninja Turtle thing. Okay. Talking about the ride, the lady was spinning all over the place. Yep. Okay, I got it, man. Oh boy. What's this? A good lesson not to do dumb stuff like this in the future. I think that this show provides a lot of lessons like that. I think that's maybe what the very first part of the show, the first hour of the show, is basically that, saying, look, don't do these stupid things in the future. Don't do it, man. Bethany said, my husband gave me a fake proposal, ring and all. It was his mom and grandma's idea. What? What? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? It's bad. Why would he do that? He'd be like, if my mom and my grandma were like, hey, give your girlfriend a fake proposal, I'd be like, you are sabotaging me. What? Don't you like her? I love her. I'm not going to give her a fake proposal. You know, I knew somebody that gave his wife a Dutch oven, you know, the very first day that they were married. I think a Dutch oven, and I'm hoping that I'm saying it properly. I think a Dutch oven is when you fart and you put the head of somebody under a blanket and it fills it up, and it's really terrible. I'm like, and that was his idea. It was a bad idea, but it was his idea. But that's like on the level of that. It might be, in fact, even be worse because it's before the real proposal. You know, at least that one, you've already said, you know, till death do us part. And it's like this, well, it smells like death, but it's not. It smells like death, but it is not, man. Oh no. It was on your first Christmas Eve together? See, I know this couple. You guys, you're an amazing woman, Bethany. I don't know how you dealt with that. How hard was that, by the way, for you? How hard was that for you? Oh my gosh. On Christmas Eve, a fake proposal inspired by your future mother-in-law and grandmother-in-law? Bro, lady, woman, what the heck, dude? What the heck, girl? Oh, it's unbelievable. Mommy says, please shut off mainstream media. They're liars. Trump won. God hears our prayers. End abortion. Christ is king. We're watching our enemies being ensnared in their own traps. Praise God. What? That's so powerful. That is so powerful. You know, somebody calls it ass media. Yeah, okay. I know what you're saying about that. I know what you're saying about that. You wish the work phone could stop ringing so you could listen intently. Isn't it true? But you got to be grateful. You got to be grateful, Jenny. You know, the work phone ringing means there's business going on. And there's a lot of people that don't have that business going on. And so, you know, on the one hand, yes, if it's a really good portion, just say, look, I need to put you on hold for a moment. Please wait. Click. And put him on hold and tune in and go, come on, man, get to that point, brother. Because I got you covered, Jenny. I got you covered, girl. All right. We're living in the end game of the communist infiltration. This is by Responsible Citizen and subversion campaign that began almost 100 years ago. You know, give me a link to exactly what you're talking about. You know, because we can go back to the enemies of civilization for a long time and see their involvement with groups like the Illuminati and in Freemasonry and in communism. And a lot of these are the same actors, man. A lot of these people are the same actors. Yeah. Let's see. Give a slap on the back of his head, America first. Yeah. What was that about? I agree with you, man. America first. I agree with you. You talking about Rush Limbaugh? You talking about Rush Limbaugh? Oh, man. Unbelievable. Okay, so real quick, before we move on. I mentioned earlier the story by Mummy where she was saying that the funny story about how her and the kids are dancing around and they're using spatulas and stuff as microphones and towels, you know, on their head and stuff and all that. And they're having a really fun time wearing goofy hats and they're dancing around to this music. And the dad comes home and sees them. And I said, well, you know, what was that? You know, like one of those record scratching moments, like stopping, full stop, and it's silent. And then it comes back on. And Dad apparently joined in. Man, Mommy, I am glad you told me that. That's a great story. That's a great story. Very, very happy about that. All right. Speaking of a great story, here we go. We're on to serious news. We're on to serious news, guys. So buckle in. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Here we go, okay? And make sure, like the video. If you have not liked this video yet, like the video. If you have not commented on the video, comment. Comments help. Comments help to get it out there. It's very, very helpful. And if you haven't shared it, but you're having a good time and you're laughing and you're thinking, man, this is really good stuff, and you wish more people were watching the video, share it, share it, share it, because we're excited about the explosive growth that we've had. In fact, I should have said this earlier. We put out a call for people to become contributors, and you can find out contributors and volunteers will use gifts and talents any way that you want to contribute. And we promise that we are not going to treat you like crap. Because I know too many people who volunteer for too many shows who walk away burned because the person who was leading the show treated their volunteers as if they were paid employees who needed to obey the dictates of, every command they have. And that's just not the way we view it. It's a sacrifice and from your time. And it's you saying you want to employ gifts and talents for a show that you love and you hope that gets bigger and gets more people tuned in because you believe in what we do. And you identify with the wolf pack. And so because of that, we want to honor you. We consider it an honor. Okay. But it's hard being a one-man mariachi band. Speaking of a guy struggling to be a one-man mariachi band is Joe Biden. Right here, according to Red State by Nick Arama, says Joe Biden tries to quote book in the Bible. It goes horribly wrong. Is the media covering this like they did with Trump? What do you say, 2 Thessalonians? Is that what he said? Something like that. And the media went bonker town. It was trending on Twitter. And everybody's like, ha, 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 look at what he said. Ha, ha, ha. Are they going to do the same exact thing to this? And you want to know the difference? This is why they should. This is why they should actually be even more hardcore. They won't, of course. We can call that. We can call it and say they're going to make a light joke out of it. They're not going to mock and bring up the idea that, oh, yeah, this guy doesn't really believe in anything in the Bible. Because here's the thing about it. The difference between him and Trump is Trump never pretended to be reading the Bible all the time or that it was a major part of his life before he decided he was going to run for office. And even then, I think it's been a slow growth for him. And I don't treat him like he's like the most devout dude in the world, doing morning and evening prayers with his family. I don't do that. That's not that. In fact, that's one of the things that I've been very explicit about with the moralists, right? These political Donatists that say, oh, you need to have this perfect disposition. They're going to go and vote for the American Solidarity Party. For a guy, by the way, who's part of a Protestant sect that's really, really fringe. And he's got a neckbeard. You can't vote for the neckbeard guy. You're like, no, I don't think so, man. I don't think so, bro. No offense, but you gotta go. You're no good. But Biden, on the other hand, he's playing the idea that he's this really devout Catholic guy and that Catholicism and his Christian faith informs what he does. He can't explain how that affects the idea of, supporting baby murder or chopping off little Jimmy's crotch. Because little Jimmy is thinking, he likes to dress up in girl clothes because mama's telling him that's cool. That stuff's not in the Bible, by the way. In fact, the exact opposite would be in the Bible. On multiple levels of that. Let's see. Says Joe Biden was playing at being president today. Yeah. He's LARPing, guys. It's kind of like, the office of the president-elect. Office of the president-elect. Wow, man. Where did that office come from? I made it up. It's part of my character. It's like when I go to a medieval festival, and I used to go to Black Rock, and I'm like, I'm Paleocrat, the Duke of Team Tiny Dancer. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really the Duke, I'm a prince. So, but the land of Team Tiny Dancer is not a thing. It's actually a castle. It's a castle in Grand Rapids. Okay, so I'm LARPing a little bit, but this guy's just straight up LARPing. I'm speaking from the office of the president-elect that I just made up. Okay. I hear you, Joe. I hear you loud and clear. Oh, he was trying to give a Thanksgiving message. And he was talking about you need to forego family traditions on Thanksgiving. You just need to do it. You just need to do it. And he says they couldn't even get the attempted Halo picture right. With the pictures, instead, it came out looking like old Joe had sprouted horns. Wow, okay, it did actually, didn't it? Look at he looks like an elf. He looks like an elf, man. He looks a little like a Vulcan. Would that be what it is? Looks a little Vulcan-esque there. But we know he's not a Vulcan. He's not doing too good, in the brain department. Are there dumb elves, man? Are there stupid elves? So he's one of those, I don't know, man. Do Vulcans, do they go through decline like Parkinson's, like Joe Biden's got? Is that what that is? But he definitely looks like he's got that. And he looks like he's got weird sprouts coming even out of his shoulders and stuff. Weird stuff coming out of his shoulders. But you can see, by the way, the optics and the propaganda involved in this. Do you see it? Do you recognize the symmetry and the symbolism that's around him? The idea of a glowing halo. They should have had a different color so that the halo was more prominent. It's just gold all around. It doesn't look too hot. But the idea of the wings like that sticking out behind his head, not good. But he says we find ourselves again facing a long, hard winter. Yeah, there's so much code in that, by the way. There's so much code in that. We've already talked about that before. He said it's a grim season of demonization and division. Yeah, your side. Well, by the way, demonization, I'm really sorry to say this because for a long time, I don't want to demonize anybody. I don't want to have to demonize anybody. But the thing is, so much of what you guys have embraced, so much of what you've embraced is just straight up satanic. It's not even just wrong anymore. There's a spectrum of things that can be bad. And this can get lost in translation sometimes when people say, all sins are equal. All sins are equal. And you go, not really. They are, maybe in one way, but not in other ways, which is why some sins go to the extent of being crime. And some sins are crimes, in fact. They're sin crimes. Every crime would be a sin. It'd be a sin crime. But not every sin is a crime. Not in a sense for us. But there would be a spectrum, even in the law of God, even going back as far as the Old Testament, the idea that some sins are things that you might need to bring a turtle dove for, right? You might need to bring a lamb. You might need to bring an ox. Or you might need to bring somebody to, light the matches and you get burned. Or take the axe and you get your head cut off. Or take the sword and it goes through the back of your neck, depending on what it was. You ain't doing that for the little kid stealing the cookie from the cookie jar. So what these people believe is it's gotten straight up demonic. I'm sorry to say it. It's straight from the pit of hell. It's not just wrong. And we can debate it all day long, but at this point, we cannot debate it simply on the terms of just sticking with worldly conversation. At this point, we have to invoke spiritual terminology because what we're dealing with is straight up evil. It's straight up evil. It's straight up evil, man. Let's see here. Devout Catholic Joe Biden doesn't know the P in psalmist is silent. What? How is this not in the funny department? How is this not in the funny department? Let's hear this.
And if we do, and I'm sure we can.
Hold on, we got to go ahead and
we can proclaim.
Let me see here. Is it? Yeah, we got to crank that up.
And if we do, and I'm sure we can proclaim the palmist, with the palmist who wrote these following words. The Lord is my strength and my shield.
Yeah, okay. For one, he's talking really faint. It's super quiet, man. I mean, I cranked it up all the way. In fact, I cranked it up to 11 because I not only had it all the way up on Twitter, I cranked up the mic volume all the way up on Mic Auxiliary 2. I mean, to the point where normally, it'd be in the red. I got to drop it back down in case I do another video. But thing is, man, this guy, yeah, what the palmist says. The palmist, and he says it twice. He says it twice. I mean, are you serious? He doesn't take it seriously, guys. It's pageantry, just like his politics. Just like his campaign. No. What's this one? Okay. We'll talk about that one tomorrow because I think it's supposed to be actually a funny story. I don't know what that's doing over there. Let's see. All right, moving on. According to the Gateway Pundit, Oregon Democrat governor, propaganda video telling people to unite their families for Thanksgiving. By the way, not to invite, or to uninvite. I'm so sorry. To invite, not unite. To uninvite their families for Thanksgiving. It's by Brock Simmons. After channeling her inner Brezhnev last week and urging people to call police on their neighbors who host Thanksgiving gatherings. Did you see that, by the way? And she was saying it's no different than loud music. You know, you're just calling like if somebody's playing loud music. You're just calling to say you're spreading a disease that's going to kill everybody. And look at her face. I love how they use that picture. Look at her tongue. Unbelievable. Oregon Governor Kate Brown is channeling her inner Joseph Goebbels this week. Oh, man, I like your writing there. Is it Brock? Is that Brock Simmons? Brock Simmons, man. Let's see. And is in an all-out propaganda push to strike fear into the people about the COVID hysteria. She's now posting creepy, happy videos calling on people to uninvite their friends and relatives to Thanksgiving dinner. Is the video available here? We got to see this thing. We got to see this thing. Yeah, so sometimes I gotta redo the screen here. All right. So yeah. Now we're gonna see, because we have to see this happy video, man. We've got to see it. We got to see the propaganda. Okay. We got to see the propaganda. What's going on? Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Okay. Here we go. Things we do. Things we do. Wear a mask. What would you do to protect your family? Would you run into a burning house? Yes. Would you drive into a raging river? Would you donate a kidney? Would you wear a mask? Wear a mask if you visit family and friends. You want to know what's crazy? Masks saves lives. Very unscientific, by the way. Very unscientific. These people are fideists. These people are individuals of an enormous amount of faith, in fact. An enormous amount of faith. They're like, just put on anything, except for the snake. We've said that before. You can't wear a snake, but you can wear a tampon. You can wear toilet paper. You could wear a napkin. You could wear a piece of cloth. Doesn't matter. And you're like, dude, that is the most unscientific crap I've ever heard in my life. It's the most unscientific crap I've ever heard. What are the dimensions, man? What are the dimensions on the cloth? What does it require? How big are the holes? If you say, well, if let's say you have a cloth mask and you've got holes that are big enough that it's obvious that it's like mesh. People are going to say, well, dude, that ain't right. And you're going to say, why? Because the holes are too big. And you say, now that you've actually talked about the size of the pores in the mask, we should talk about the pores in the masks that are medical grade. Because the same logic applies, you dummy. How big do you think this virus is? How big do you think it is, man? Do you not understand size and scale? Do you not understand probability that things can get through? If you've got, how many, by the way, do you guys know how many basketballs you can fit into a basketball hoop at one time? 2. Side by side. Side by side. You know, there was a golf balls. How many golf balls can you fit into a golf ball hole at the exact same time? How many of these, how much coronavirus can go through the pores in the mask? It's the same kind of question. Size and scale. And not only that, but each and every one of these instances, by the way, each and every one of these instances are instances of direct and immediate danger. A person is dying because they don't have a kidney in their kidney, and if they don't get a kidney right now, they could die, like right now. If that person is inside of the river, okay, in each and every one of these, in another one, it's like, it's possible that it could happen. It's not certain, right? Like, it's not certain, like the person, I don't know, without the kidney, or the person in the river. It's not certain in that sense. It's a possibility. And you're like, it's a possibility that if you get in a car, you're going to accidentally get in a car accident. Save lives. Putting the keys away and never driving again is going to make sure there's no car accidents. What a stupid thing, man. These people couldn't reason their way out of a paper bag. What a joke. How is she a governor? How was this guy ever president?
So I deeply believe that people should be treated equally under the law, regardless of sexual orientation.
I was shocked you talked about that in the book.
But we all, you know, I mean, I think there are big chunks of our community where that's still controversial. People were surprised about
by their gender expression. No matter what that is, that's kind of controversial. Yeah, I know it's kind of controversial. Imagine that. We are part of a species that has been around for a very long time and has primarily functioned on the idea of a binary. And it's architectural, right? It's in our design. In fact, it's in the design of the whole world. You can look around and you can see all the things around us. Remember when they used to do that all the time, trying to talk about, well, it's a naturalistic fallacy, what they did. But they would say, well, look, there are some gay penguins over here. So that shows that being gay is natural. And you say, okay, you want to take that logic. The overwhelming majority of all things are binary. And the overwhelming majority of the human species, in the overwhelming majority of human history, has been binary. And it's for a reason, unless you believe somehow it was a patriarchal scheme early on. Maybe around the fire with the oog caveman stuff. And you believe that somehow the patriarchs figured it out. We're going to make sure that everybody submits, and we're going to marginalize the different groups. And it wasn't just a natural thing that emerged because everywhere they were looking, there was dudes and there was chicks. And because they understood that reality is not just a video game of the brain. We're not solipsists. That's what these people are. They're solipsists. Yeah, it's all in my brain, man. It's all a figment of my imagination. Whatever's real inside my brain is right. If that's the case, why don't you imagine that you're going to be perfectly fine driving on the wrong side of the highway toward 2 lanes filled up with some semi-trucks? Tell me how it goes. See you on the other side, homie. Unbelievable. Who's incognito? In the comments, yeah, you're evil as you perpetuate animosity towards others just because they're on the other side. It's kind of crazy. Do you think anything I just said is because they're on the other side? Wasn't it obvious when because she's talking about, I'm assuming N is a girl. Maybe not. You know, so N is talking about when I was saying that, you know, when we talk about people in the DNC, we talk about Joe Biden, we talk about others, that we have to begin invoking religious language having to do with demons, in fact, and having to do with Satan, because we're at that place. And didn't I say, I wish that wasn't the case, that there's a spectrum of differences. And you can say, well, here's the differences on this, here's the differences on that. But you get to the point where you're talking about cutting Jimmy's crotch off. You're talking to the point about murdering little babies inside the womb, poisoning them, cutting them into pieces, sucking them out in the vacuum, selling them on the market. Yeah, dude, straight up demons. Straight up demons. You and people like that, it's a long history, man. It's a long history, going back to the groves and going back to the rivers and going back to the idols. Slicing them in half, throwing them in the river so that the leaves will grow, so that the grass and the grain will grow. In other words, they didn't have the food. They didn't have the money. Or convenience. Even the arguments, they're no different now. The excuses, no different now. No different now. Those ancient idols have just taken on different forms. It's unbelievable.
A lot of Hispanic folks who voted for Trump.
Yes.
But there's a lot of evangelical Hispanics who, you know, the fact that Trump says racist things about Mexicans or puts detainees, undocumented workers in cages.
In cages? You put them in cages. You put them in cages, bro. Do you see the evil, by the way? How evil and sinful, how seared would your conscience have to be in order to stand up or sit down in front of a large audience of people talking to somebody from the Breakfast Club and talking about people, illegal immigrants, being in cages, and the truth is that your administration did that. A lot of those pictures were from your administration, and yet when you talk about it with a straight face, acting like you're somebody morally superior, you're accusing the President of the United States right now. How amazing. What kind? Again, you have to have a seared conscience. And this is what is it, a memoir? A Promised Land by Barack Obama. So he's out there promoting a book of the Promised Land. He's telling you something that's out there. We can make it better. We can do all this stuff. And you know what? You know what his tactic is to get there? The means by which to get there? Lying through his freaking teeth. He's lying. He's lying. And do you see the blame? Oh, those Hispanic racists. Those Hispanic people, man, those are pretty sick weirdos. And you know, no, let me take it back. Hispanic Christians, a bunch of terrible people because they saw all the racist stuff he was saying about Mexicans. You know what? Maybe they decided he wasn't saying racist stuff about Mexicans. And if all you've got is that Mexico is sending over people, look, we've talked about that for a very long time. Talking about, in fact, you know, this is one of those things that I hate having to admit. But a lot of the organizations that go over to the other side of the border and work with people to illegally come here, and then on the other side of the border, help them to live illegally among us, a lot of those are Catholic organizations. I don't want to have to say that. But it's documented. This ain't even hard, man. This ain't even hard. Everybody says it's just George Soros. It's not just George Soros. There's a lot of different organizations. You know, people should read Ann Coulter's book about the topic. It's really good, by the way. As well as the environmental impact of illegal immigration. So some of us, like me, actually care about the environment. That's why we talk about having a mixed economy. I have certain criticisms of capitalism. And I say, look, we need to have a society that is more in an equilibrium of different sectors. And we need to emphasize, in fact, the idea of land again and the proper treatment of land, even of animals. I'm not some brazen dude that doesn't care about that stuff. And so when I see the environmental impact on cherished pieces of land in the United States, I see the impact environmentally that has on land, on rivers, and I see it. As well as the impact it has on women, the kind of rape culture that is in that area. When you go, when you're traveling through dangerous terrain, and you're doing so without wanting to be seen, oftentimes in the dark of night, oftentimes being escorted by coyotes, you gotta know it's super bad. And the amount of women who've been raped going through that process, you know what? You're not going to have that problem if you go to the proper venue, which is why I believe in a wall. I believe in walls for the exact same reason that I believe in stop signs and curbs. And I don't just tell people, ride your car wherever you want. Drive your car, doesn't matter. Just drive anywhere. It'll be fine. And it doesn't matter who you are. Go ahead. Anybody can get a license, doesn't matter. There's no qualifications necessary. You could be blind as a bat. It's okay. We don't need to know. No, I don't believe that. I believe in order. I believe in structure and design. Does it have pros and cons? Yes, no doubt about it. Are there pros and cons to spontaneous order? Yes, there are. But we can also see the cons in it and say, look, there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance of this thing. And so the idea of directing traffic to places, to ports of entry where you can go in, number one, look at Hungary as an example, man. Look at Hungary as an example and say, how many terrorist attacks did they have when they started really clamping down on this? How many terrorist attacks? You can see it drop. You can see the numbers drop dramatically. And all they do is they say, look, if you want to come, it's really easy. We have hours of operation at multiple ports of entry. You have to just go through that route. It's like Trump said, big wall, big gate. Big open arms on the inside, but you got to go through the gate. Let's see here. Portland's black BLM activists say they're done with white Antifa and they want separation. This is over the Daily Wire by Emily Zanotti. See, Oregon Public Broadcasting reports Wednesday that black members of Portland's Black Lives Matter movement are tired of their anti-racism demonstrations being hijacked by the mostly white Antifa anarchists and are working to separate the two movements as protests continue. Unsurprising, guys. That's why I've said Antifa's a white commie cult. It just is. It's a white commie cult. Most of these people are white people. And they suffer from the same delusions that so many in the secular community do. Secularism as a movement and as a community in the United States is overwhelmingly white. Most people of color are going to identify with religion, which is why it's hilarious when people talk about religion being white supremacist. And you're like, dude, it's kind of like really weird that it's a bunch of white people over here saying that to, I don't know, people all around the globe of red, yellow, black, and white, all recognizing that each other are precious in God's sight. And you're calling all of us racist. And we're like, it's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird, dude. You guys got to look in the mirror for a second. You're not doing very well. Your level of self-awareness is bad. Super bad, man. Let's see here. Yeah, but they're sick and tired of it. I anticipated it. And you know what? This is instructive because these two groups have been involved with each other for a very long time. And the media, in their ignorance and laziness, I've been studying and reporting on Antifa groups for a very long time. A very long time. I first got into really studying them as groups or shortly before Occupy. But I interviewed them. I went to camps. I spoke there, in fact. I had people on the radio show years ago, interviewed them years ago. I tracked tons of the streams because they used to have these live streams all set up, and you could watch tons of them at a time and click on different ones and watch what was going on all day long at all the encampments. In fact, I was the only journalist, other than a photojournalist, who was at the Grand Rapids Occupy, the very first event, where they marched through the street and they went over to Gerald Ford Museum area by the river. I was the only journalist there. So I have studied this for a very long time. And I'm like, yeah, dude, there is a reason why. And here's a great example. And I don't want to dog it, man. I don't want to dog it too badly because the event was actually a decent event. It was a lot of people mixed in and stuff like that. But there was an event back when we lived in Dorr. We didn't live in Grand Rapids, right? And Dorr is a small little town. It's a very, very white town. Okay, it's a very, very white town. It's out in the country, out in the sticks, and most people there are Protestant, a mix of Protestant and Catholic, that kind of thing. A couple Jehovah's Witnesses, not a lot of them though. Not a lot of Jehos over there. I don't know. I never saw any Mormons while I was out in Dorr. But when we moved to Grand Rapids, we moved to an area that is a very ethnically and racially diverse area. Okay, and so there's a whole bunch of different kinds of people, a whole bunch of different beliefs and traditions and everything else. And it's a really great place to live. We have a really good time. We have a really good relationship with our neighbors. Although I may be the only Republican on my block. I'm the only one, man. It was Biden and BLM signs everywhere. And I'm like the one guy that had my signs out front. And I'm like, oh, dang, son. So, but we're all good friends, right? We get along. We help each other when it snows and everything else. But there was an organization that wanted to set up a May Day rally. Okay, and they asked if me and my best friend and another guy, if our band would play a couple songs at this rally. And so we did. We went to this rally. We played a couple of these songs. And there were a whole bunch of other people. This is years and years ago. And it was a whole bunch of other people there. But when I got there, I kind of realized where we were in town. This is before I moved here. This is before I moved to this area. In fact, I live about 2 blocks up the road from the park, MLK Park. Okay. And this is where Floyd Mayweather grew up. Okay. This is actually the area. In fact, he went to the same school my kids went to. He lived only a couple blocks up the road. And so Floyd Mayweather, when he sometimes will come back into town, he'll go to the boxing gym over at MLK Park. So they go to MLK Park, and this is basically an Antifa collective. There's a whole bunch of leftist groups. They're all coming together. They're putting together all of their literature and everything else. There's all this commie stuff all over the place. And they make food that's vegan. And I'm thinking, since we've moved here, it made me think, since we moved here, I realized that there are tons of events up at that park. And whenever there's events at that park, there are burgers, there are hot dogs, there are ribs, there is chicken. There's all sorts of different foods, but meat, barbecue, fried food is central. In fact, you can smell it from a mile away. It's the main thing when you go all the time. And you want to know something? The park is packed out with black people from the area. And that event with Antifa, which wasn't Antifa, it was a bunch of these different groups that would identify with that now. And identified with it then, but it's not just one thing. It's not like Antifa made it. Okay? So there's all these different groups. And you want to know what? Hardly anyone from that neighborhood showed up. White people from all over the place showing up. Hardly anybody. Not only from the area, but hardly anybody who was black. Hardly anybody who was Hispanic. Hardly anybody that was Asian. In fact, my wife might have been the only one. I brought this up later to one of the organizers who said that I was a racist because I voted for Donald Trump. And I said, well, look, I would never put together a party that looked like yours. No offense. I mean, but I said, you guys do your thing, I guess. You have the freedom to peaceably assemble. It's a constitutional freedom. But if I look at it and I say, what does your ideology appeal to? And why in the world do you have nobody interested? Well, we went out and we tried to get him to go. I said, that makes it even worse. Because they don't want nothing to do with you, man. They want nothing to do with you. Why? Because they don't believe in this crap. So many of them don't believe in this crap, which is why BLM is actually, it's a conflicted thing. I've talked about that. I've tried to be nuanced about BLM and say that, the leaders on the one hand, they're well-educated, highly trained Marxists. I mean, that's not even a question about it. They're also into witchcraft. They're into strange, African voodoo. They're into that. We showed videos, man, where they talk about it. Okay? Where they talk about that kind of thing and they do weird rituals and stuff. It's totally LARPy looking. It's really stupid. But by and large, the people who are involved with BLM are just regular. They're also Johnny Q's and Sally Sue's. They are. They're, well, how would we say, man? Jerome Q's, right? Jerome Q's. But that's the thing. And so it was a stunning thing. When I brought this up to the guy, when I brought it up to him, this guy was like, I'm going to beat you up, man. If I ever see you, I'm coming at you, dude. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, bro, you are a violent person. In fact, he's one of the very few people I've ever I ever blocked on social media. I have only blocked a handful of people ever. And he's one of them. He's a violent maniac. And apparently, by the looks of things, he's kind of living in a white separatist world. Very, very delusional, thinking that, they're out on the front lines of anti-racism all the while. All the while, the groups that are out there every day having to deal with them are like, get them out of here. These people are crazy. We don't want anything to do with them. We want nothing to do with them. Trump admin removes globalists and war hawks from Defense Policy Board and dopey Madeleine Albright. Yeah, it's totally true. It includes Madeleine Albright, Henry Kissinger, Jane Harman, Eric Cantor. It's long overdue. It's long overdue. And what it was is the Defense Policy Board is an outside advisory group of former high-profile national security officials who provide the Secretary of Defense and the Deputy Secretary of Defense independent, informed New World Order advice and opinions concerning matters of the Great Reset and how defense policy can be used in order to accomplish that task. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had to change. Oh, it's CNN. Okay, so I had to change it up. That's why. They're making it like they're independent. They're just neutral. They don't have an agenda. And you're like, dude, these are New World Ordites, man. These are New World Ordites. Unbelievable. March study points to pervasive mental illness among white American liberals. Are you surprised? Richard Moorhead. This is over at bigleaguepolitics.com. You got to check that site out. It's really good. They're the ones that did the Detroit leaks. They're the ones that the leaders here in Michigan are threatening with legal action. Survey data from a March Pew poll indicates that white liberals disproportionately suffer from mental illness. We kind of know that because they're putting it all over their profiles now. Nearly half of self-identifying white liberals between ages of 18 and 29 reported telling a doctor or a healthcare provider that they have a mental health condition. Only 20% of white conservatives in the same category reported as such. So you can see here, oh my gosh. Wow. So, okay, you can see this here. Yeah. So overall, yeah. And I think part of that, like, I don't want to deny the idea of mental illness, right? I have talked about my having been diagnosed bipolar, the kind of things that I've dealt with throughout my life. But, you know, at the same time, I think a lot of these things are spiritual and societal maladies that rise to the level that when your world and life view are so convoluted, when that's the case, it sometimes affects you and makes you feel like you're nuts. And in fact, might actually make you nuts, where if you're trying to live by that code and you're trying to break the binary, you're trying to go against all the moral foundations that God has instilled within mankind, and you're trying to tear it down and say, I know that it's natural. I know it's been around for a long time, but man, I have a vision in my brain of a world, and that world is unlike anything anyone's ever seen, and I don't understand why everybody thinks that I'm nuts. Sorry to tell you. Sorry to tell you, but it's true. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. So you have very liberal, 38%. It would almost seem that if you go down this line and you're like, okay. Now, the only time you see any kind of weird shift is very conservative people of color compared to conservative people of color or non-white. The number goes up. The number goes up. But other than that, you can see a decline the entire way. From very liberal to very conservative, you can see how that ends up shifting around. And you can see, wow, that's a lot of mental illness going on over there. The further left you go, it's one of the reasons to encourage everybody to stay away from the left. And in fact, to stay away from places that are infected with the pathogen. And that'd be places like YouTube. For Indigenous and Native Americans, the fourth Thursday of November is dedicated to Indigenous history, activism, and resistance. It's called Unthanksgiving. Unthanksgiving is about acknowledging, educating, and honoring centuries of Indigenous resistance, coinciding with New England's National Day of Mourning. Unthanksgiving activates Alcatraz Island, the site of a 19-month occupation by Bay Area natives in 1969. You know, the thing is, I have a position on Native Americans that differs from a lot of my America First friends. I'm one of those that really believes that we need to do a better job of honoring their role and place in our history, and also honoring the agreements that we've made and honoring the sovereignty of the reservations. And so we have friends, man, that are Native American. We have friends. We've been to powwows. We've been to different events with them. In fact, my daughter, she had kind of a Peter, James, and John. She had three really close friends. And so those three really close friends, one of those is Native American, and she takes a great deal of pride in that. When Samantha died, the tribe gave my daughter a name. They gave her the name Anungukwe. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it properly, but as far as I remember, it's Anungukwe, and it means star girl. And for that reason, she's buried with a bald eagle feather. powerful thing, by the way. But they loved her and treated her as, in fact, one of their own. Very, very happy about that. All right. This guy, okay, did you guys see this, by the way? This dude is saying he's going to stay open, and he did. He did stay open, and I wish that I had some video here. Oh, man. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, my gosh, what's this guy's name? If you guys could send a link of this guy being arrested and post it in the comments, I would like that. I'll add it to the list here because I know, I know someone. We've talked. I know somebody in the video. This is a guy in Canada. He was arrested because he defied his lockdown order. They tried to close his shop. They said, "What are you going to do?" And he said, "I'm going to open up tomorrow. I'm going to open up tomorrow." And so he kept opening up. He was defying them. They said, "If you do this again, we're going to come in and arrest you." So tons of people organized. There's people all outside standing up for this guy. And somebody, black dude, buddy of ours, goes up, hugs him, tries to prevent it, tries to get him away from the police. He just walks right up, man, grabs the guy. The police are shoving him out of the way, trying to knock him out of the way. He ends up swatting one of their hands away. They end up tackling him down. He's in a little bit of trouble, man. A little bit of trouble, brother. You should have done some Wim Hof before you went, dude. You gotta look. You have to take it from the old boys, dude. Proud of my boys, proud of them all. And one of the rules is you gotta have the adrenaline control. And because in those moments, man, you gotta have control. Because you have to, in the heat of that moment, decide, is it really smart for me to go and, it's one thing to say, oh, I'm obstructing. I went and I grabbed the guy while the police are trying to drag him away. I got that. But whacking a police officer's hand, doing a karate chop, wah, like that, and then they're tackling you and you're like, wah, they're trying to do your thing. Yeah, not going to happen, bro. Not going to happen, bro. And there's multiple levels, multiple levels of bad that can go. And so we, of course, wish him the best. We need to pray for him. But if you've got a link to that, if you've got a link to the videos of him getting arrested, please make sure to send it. We'd be very grateful for that. Let's see. Okay. What's this? Oh, dang, son. Okay, so all right, what is this here? All right, we'll make it a little bit bigger. It's 37 seconds. I'll hop out because I don't know if this is going to cover it up. So I'm going to go ahead and hop out real quick here. Let's see.
What the fuck? Oh, stop! No, fuck off! You come to my house, so I fucking went for you. I just seen you on there. Calm down.
Calm down.
What the fuck?
We've been trying to get in for 20 minutes.
I'm here fucking phone. I'm fucking going.
Okay, it's a lot of F words. But what would you do? Do you know what this is, by the way? He's, an Elvis impersonator? And he's doing a live concert, obeying the restrictions for lockdown. So he's obeying the restrictions. He's doing it from his living room. Don't know if it's the best set in the world, but he's putting himself out there, right? He's putting himself out there. And so you sit there and you're like, okay, he's doing a good job. He's got music cranked up. And the police are beating the door down for supposedly 20 minutes. And they just roll on in. They kick in the door. They roll on in because they think he's having a big party and he's disobeying the lockdown orders. While this is live streaming to an audience of people, many who paid to see it. How many videos are we seeing, man, of police coming in? How many videos are we seeing of police arresting individuals who are trying to do the right thing? They're trying, even the people, whether it's protesting and saying, I've had enough, and we're going to do this. We've seen the numbers. We know the statistics. We see what's the real agenda here, and we're done with you guys, man. This is crap. Or there are people like this guy that say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and keep on trucking. I'm going to do it, though, by obeying the rules. I'm going to be in my house doing a live stream of my show. You know, the equipment's not good. The quality's not good. You know, there's a lot of things you could work on. a lot of things. I could too, though. In fact, my mom, just as an aside, my mom, I got a call yesterday. She loves the show. I don't know if she watches through the, all the politics, but she loves the funny stuff at the beginning. She wakes up every day. She loves waking up to the show. She's in Pennsylvania. Her and my brother both. And she told me, she said, look, your office is, a man cave, kind of disorderly. You got random crap in there. You got a lot of stuff just scattered all over the place. We got to fix it up. It's got to be better. And so she's going to be doing a bunch of stuff. We're going to fix up the library behind me, make it the entire wall, probably paint down here. And also, I have a feeling there's going to be a green screen involved in this. So, but this guy's trying to do it. He's trying to do it. Here's another group trying to do it. Thomas E. Woods. Did you see this video, by the way, the COVID cult? And YouTube said that, hi, Mises Media. Our team has reviewed your content. Let's see here. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our medical misinformation policy. We've removed the following content from YouTube. The COVID cult. Thomas E. Woods Jr. By the way, YouTube, just so you know, I have a episode called The COVID Cult. And I talk about what it means that it is a COVID cult. In fact, Thomas Woods Jr., it was a great video. It's a great lecture, a great presentation. And they've determined, oh, that's really neat. You've reviewed the content. You think that it violates the medical misinformation policy. What exactly, by the way? I heard that they didn't give any example of what it was. It was just, the whole thing. The whole thing. Trust the science, not the lockdowns. Trust the science. Lockdowns are a mistake. Researchers have established that the effects of worldwide lockdowns will be far more deadly than the virus itself. But how deadly is the virus really? It's by Vincent James over at American Greatness. By the way, Vincent James, I'd love to interview that guy. I'd love to interview him, man. Red Elephant. In fact, I would love to wear a hat. Vincent, I need to get a hat, bro. I need to get a hat because if I get a hat, I'll sport it on the show, man. I'll sport the Red Elephant hat. It's a good one. Do you have any Red Elephant hat that says "Keep America Great" or "Make America Great Again" with the elephant on it? I would definitely wear that one for sure. Americans cannot turn on the television these days without hearing the words "trust science." It's on every channel and seeping from the mouths of nearly every politician and media pundit in the country. They tell America that there is a scientific consensus backing every part of their worldview. And that's where you know it's bad, guys. When it's convenient. And you go, oh, isn't that neat that it just so happens to be that what you're saying that science is saying is confirming your worldview. And it's like, wow, it would almost be that if we just trusted science and we trusted the empirical method and peer review, that we would all just be raging liberals, just like Bill Nye, the science guy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. I don't know what Go to God says, two races, talking about race. Not exactly sure. Are you talking about Antifa and BLM? I hope you ain't talking about me, brother. It's kind of one of those things, man. How can you be a racist when you believe red, yellow, black, and white were precious in his sight? Amen. How is that racist? How is it racist when you're saying, I would like to address policies that disproportionately affect people of color? Or I want to better respect Indian sovereignty, reservations and their sovereignty, and better understand some of the things that they talk about. And even to better appreciate the idea that not all of them necessarily love the idea of Thanksgiving. Look, that's the way that goes. It's the way that goes. There are winners and losers, and their stories are their stories. I'm not meaning losers in a way that's like a personal jab at anyone. I'm saying in the grand scheme of things, you say, groups that won battles, groups that lost battles, groups that won wars, groups that lost wars, and it doesn't even give the. I'm not even giving a moral evaluation of whether or not it was right or wrong in the first place. I'm saying that's just part of human history. In fact, that's ask the Mounders about that. So on the lockdowns, according to official CDC data, 231,000 Americans thus far have died from COVID-19. But how many have and soon will die from the effects of the shutdown. How many are there? There's serious problems of this. And it's not just that. It says when the shutdown in America began to exceed the 15-day timeline officials promised, many scientific researchers warned of other adverse consequences as unemployment began to rise dramatically. Researchers pointed to scientific meta-analysis suggesting that for every 1% of unemployment in the country, approximately 5,300 to 10,000 people would die from deaths of despair. These studies were largely ignored as the United States quickly surpassed the 20% unemployment mark, as the lockdowns far surpassed the 15-day promised timeline. But because these warnings were ignored by a small minority of agenda-driven scientists, we're seeing an exponential rise in death stemming from increased suicide, drug overdose, DUIs, alcohol consumption, tuberculosis infection, spousal abuse, and delayed cancer screenings. It's true. According to the study, what was this one done by here? By DataCan, a healthcare research hub for cancer, found that there could be 35,000 additional cancer deaths within a year in the UK alone from the lockdown. In the United States, overwhelming scientific evidence has found that COVID-19 lockdowns have shortened the lifespans of Americans far more than the virus itself. According to the study, the coronavirus lockdowns are 10 times more deadly to Americans than the actual COVID-19 virus itself, and have devastated long-term financial and social stability. But this is the kind of stuff that you just simply don't want to talk about. You got almost 7,000 scientists, virologists, and infectious disease experts recently signing a declaration against lockdown measures, urging that citizens across the West should be able to get on with their lives as normal, and that lockdown rules, both in the United States and the UK, are causing irreparable damage. You got Oxford University professor Dr. Sunetra Gupta. You've got, along with Harvard University's Dr. Martin Kulldorff and Stanford's Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. These people, I mean, we're not talking about jokes, man. We're not talking about jokes. But the same people that say you must accept the science are the same ones that say, except for chromosomes, that stuff is not true. This is what we're dealing with, guys. And I'm sorry to say this, man, but this right here, take a good look at that, America. Take a good look at that. If you haven't already jabbed your eyeballs out. This right here, look, this is on the spectrum of the mental illness thing we were talking about. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that, man. That's why I think that Michael Savage is only partially true when he says liberalism is a mental illness. I think it's only partially true. Because deeper than that, it is a spiritual malady. It is a spiritual disorder. You can see it. It's plain as day. And never forget that the so-called experts were wrong. COVID is still less lethal than the last 3 major U.S. pandemics. It's just true. And by the way, you can see the way that it plays itself out in this article. The CD estimates 36 million people had the flu in this past flu season. This is an estimate, and the amount used above by the Director General of the World Health Organization as the mortality rate for the flu. Then, U.S. medical elites, including Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx, used ridiculous and fraudulent models to lock down the record Trump economy. In October, more than a half a year after our initial report in March, this is the Gateway Pundit, the World Health Organization released new numbers that indicate that the China coronavirus has mortality similar to the flu. The World Health Organization now estimates that 750 million people have had the coronavirus today, with 1 million global deaths that puts the mortality rate at 0.13. Earlier this year, they reported how coronavirus compares to other global pandemics since the Spanish flu in 1918. With our new data from the World Health Organization today, we update our comparison of the worst flu pandemics in U.S. history. The coronavirus, with an overall mortality rate per population of 0.13% is now ranked as the 4th worst pandemic in the U.S. in the last 110 years, based on global numbers. And it's only a bit higher than the 2018 U.S. flu season, with a mortality rate of 0.9. And by the way, just so that people know, just so that the overlords at YouTube know, this is based on the World Health Organization data. Fauci, Redfield, and Birx, they should be fired and arrested. I agree with that. But we got weirdos like this. After lecturing Trump supporters on masks, John Carl caught taking off his mask in White House press briefing room when he thinks the cameras are off. Ain't that the thing, guys? These people are virtue signalers, man. It's all they are. They're fakers. They're phonies. They are phonies, man. I got in a conversation with a guy yesterday. In fact, it was an awesome conversation. He asked me if I'd ever done any kind of tours with improv acting groups and stuff like that. Because he appreciates it. He's done stuff with Hollywood in the past. He's done stuff with big media names and everything. And he says he really appreciates and he recognizes and appreciates the talent that it takes to do the show. And I was really grateful. I mean, it was a flattering comment. I said, no, I've never done any of these troop things like that. And he said he really hopes that I never fall prey and become, the professional Catholic, quote unquote. And that I don't do that. And I said, I wouldn't just hate it, but I would hate myself for doing that. And it's not just a professional Catholic thing. It's stuff like this. There is a dynamic of theatrics and spectacle to the show. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. You can see me on other shows and see me as I just kind of talk in a way that doesn't involve the going off the handle and the cadence and everything else. You can see that. But the thing is, it's just simply cranking me up to like 11 or I don't know, 11,000. 11,000, crank it up, bro. And so you sit there and you say, okay, but it's still me. I'm just taking those things that are me and amplifying them. That's all I'm doing. This guy, on the other hand, is a fraud. He's a fraud. He took when he was done, he said, oh, okay, yeah. Apparently he believes it's okay. Let's see here. And there he is. Oh, do 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 do. You're a hypocrite. You're the worst hypocrite I've ever seen. Not really, because you're surrounded by other ones. You are surrounded by them. They want to demoralize you. Here's another one. Let's see if we can get it up where, okay. Doctor who demanded mandatory mask law. Okay, so this guy, and you're going to see a picture, by the way. It's a little scandalous. It's not nudity, but they're wearing, he's surrounded by a lot of ladies because this is the guy that they call like the sexiest doctor on TV or whatever. Doctor who demanded mandatory mask law. He's pictured partying maskless on a boat, surrounded by bikini-clad women. And look at this. So I'll get that down a little bit so you can't see it well. Maybe right there. Okay. But you can see, I mean, there's so much scandal going on in this. So much evil going on. And there he is. Look at these people. Look at them breathing all over each other. Look at him having a blast. And you know what? He didn't share that, by the way. He didn't share that. And let's see what he says here. This is hilarious. This is Mike Cernovich shared this. Let's see. If by not wearing a mask, you put other lives at risk, it might make sense to make it mandatory. Wouldn't you agree? Oh, it might make sense making it mandatory. And then let's see this. Exclusive. Sexiest doctor alive is called out for partying maskless on a boat while surrounded by bikini-clad women in Miami, despite stressing to his millions of Instagram followers to think before traveling, wear a mask, and social distance. Screw you! You piece of crap! Screw you! You have a punch-worthy face. You have a punch-worthy face, you piece of crap. You are exactly the kind of thing, man, you drive me nuts. We need to make people like him uncomfortable. Make him uncomfortable, guys. You see him in public, you record him. Make him uncomfortable. Because he uses his authority to make you feel like you're terrible. To make you feel like you're a heartless person. You want to go and you want to go back to work? How dare you? You want to get back and you want to walk around and actually see somebody smile? How dare you? And then what do you got? What do you got? Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Which one is he? Lo and behold, the one squishing his face against the ladies. Ha 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 ha! Look at me! I can do whatever I want. We let them. We can't let them anymore. This guy's a pathetic loser. He's a pathetic loser, man. Turn him off. Shame him every time you see him. Every time you see him, shame the living daylights at him. Share this picture over and over and over. Make memes out of it that he is spreading death everywhere he goes. Just go ahead and do it. Make him uncomfortable. He's a raging hypocrite. Let's see here. We're going to move on. I can talk about COVID forever, man. We'll talk about more. All right, on to the election score, guys. On to the election cover-up. Whitmer admin says that records do not exist. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Here's, by the way, it's another hypocrite. It's another raging hypocrite, by the way, on so many scores pertaining to $25 million Dominion contract set up by Democratic official. This is by Shane Trejo. I want to hang out with Shane. A second Freedom of Information Act request filed by Big League Politics pertaining to the $25 million Dominion contract set up by a Democrat official has been partially denied by the state of Michigan. Ain't that amazing, guys? Isn't it a thing? People begin looking into stuff. They begin investigating into stuff, and they're like, "Oh man, we gotta get on this. We gotta figure out the truth of what's really going on. Looks like there's some shenanigans," and they end up obeying the law. They go and they do the Freedom of Information Act, the FOIA Act, right? A FOIA request. They go ahead and they do it, and it's partially rejected. Why? Because apparently Whitmer's goons at the Department of Technology Management and Budget, the DTMB, claimed that, quote, records don't exist. Ain't that a thing? Records don't exist, man. Showing how the Dominion contract impacted Michigan elections after it was enacted in 2017. So the state makes a contract with Dominion, and lo and behold, we can't find it. We can't find any of it. Ain't that a thing? Ain't that... Look, it's another one of those coinky-dinks. It's another coinky-dink. These are the coinky-dink kids. They're like the lollipop kids, but evil. Total schemesters, man. The coink. We need to have a meme, man, of the coinky dinks and the people, their faces superimposed over the lollipop kids. You need to. You need to. National math and reading test postponed to 2022. They want to hide how much students have fallen due to draconian COVID rules. I'll talk a little bit about that, more about that tomorrow, because I actually want to spend more time on the idea of education. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is a good one. It's over by Jim Hoft, Gateway Pundit. Time to make One American News and Newsmax rich. Fox is dead to me. President Trump retweets Randy Quaid's Fox News video clip, and it's pure joy. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and I think it's more than just one, but we'll go ahead and play this. This is the one where he comes in on the Okay. Well, all right, that's... I hate it when it doesn't show it, man. I hate it when it doesn't show it. Okay, here we go. I'll step out for a minute.
Is this the way America goes? From George Washington to George Soros? From oceans white with foam to a socialist swamp? Is this the way America goes? Is this really our future? Wake up, you sleeping giant. The Lilliputians have tied you down with their fantastic dreams of icebergs melting into dinosaurs and train tracks stretching across the Pacific waters. Trump trumpets reveille, and it's time to heed the call. The framers have been framed, the people disarmed. Conservative voices are silenced in the schools by anarchists left unmasked. Merry Christmas is greeted cheerlessly, even condemned. Is this how America goes? To a nation of godless fanatics? In the shadows of big tech and empty condos, homeless citizens fill the streets, wallowing in their own filth, while big pharma sedates us with opiates, the food industry poisons our insides, and business organizations kowtow to communist marching orders. Is this the way America goes? In a stupor of ignorance? In obedience to corruption and greed? Ring out, you bells of freedom! Sound the alarm across the land! Old Glory is being ripped to shreds by fakers and phonies, and bullies and liars who want to destroy our president and redefine the sovereignty of the Supreme Court, rewrite the rules. A day of reckoning is nigh. Wake up!
It's true. The day of reckoning is nigh. In the comments section, real quick. Way to ignore the matter at hand of American expansionism. This is... And again? Really? Keep commenting, and I like it. Keep commenting. Share it with your friends. Get your friends in there. Get your friends in there, man. You're looking like you're outnumbered. You're looking like you're outnumbered, trying to troll. You're getting owned all over the place. You talk about ignoring American expansionism. You know what's crazy about that, by the way? Is that I am an opponent of American expansionism. And by the sound of it, maybe you voted for somebody, by the way, who is like one of the granddaddies of American expansionism, Joe Biden. I lived through that. I've been anti-war. As I said earlier on the show, that when they were sending troops to war, I was opening up the page of American Conservative Magazine, which was an anti-war conservative magazine. That's why it was started. And I was the guy reading it. I'm the guy talking about it on the internet. Early on when there weren't radio shows streaming, hardly any at all. And I was not only streaming a radio show, I had a TV show. And I was talking about Team America World Police. I was talking about that stuff. I've been against it for a very, very, very long time. And so to play that game, maybe you're talking to somebody else, but you got the wrong show. You got the wrong show. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Let's see here. Zach, that guy's not even a Christian. By his reasoning, it wasn't a just war when God in the Old Testament told the Israelites to wage war on the Canaanites. That's the thing, and people don't understand. That's why I've said just war. I said it recently. I said we need to actually get back to that. But those are strict rules, by the way. Those are strict rules, by the way. And pacifists, pacifism is a problem. Pacifism is a problem. There's a golden mean here. And the idea that we should not have any kind of military at all, yeah, good luck. Good luck. We live in a world where it's kind of like everybody, we should just have no laws. We should have no guns. We should have none of this. You want to know what? You will have people with guns rise up, and the strong man's going to end up being the leader. That's what it is. So it's actually good to have a monopoly on force that we have some kind of connection with, that when it acts unjustly, we're able to voice our opinion about it. It's one of the beauties, in fact, of the imperfect Constitution that we have. It's one of those things, man. It's unbelievable, man. See, Kara H says, can you imagine if Republicans cheated the election? They won, the votes are real. plus the ones, yeah, they stole. Yeah, Biden not got hardly any. His was from the fraud machine. OMG, totally. Totally. And David Rice says that MAGA cap he's wearing betrays him. I wear this MAGA cap for a very good reason. In fact, I've got a story about the MAGA cap. I've got it because I had a Play-Doh rolling, bubble blowing, beta cuck at the Y Center one time. I'm pumping iron. I'm getting all puffed out, man. Doing good. I was doing some squats, had my headphones in, and this dude comes up to me, and he's all in my face. I can't hear a word he's saying. He's he's pointing at me and just and his eyeballs are real big. And I take my headphones off. He's like, take that hat off and take that shirt off. I'm like, why would I do that? And he says, it offends women. I joke around and say, this guy thinks it offends women that I'm not walking around with my shirt off. I've had some weird compliments, man, but that right there. That says a lot about the guy. But this hat, got it in New York. Love this hat. It's not even an authentic one. It's a knockoff one. And it doesn't matter. I've never bought an authentic one because I don't care. I got this while I was on a trip to New York with my daughter, and who died about 4 years ago of brain cancer. And I will wear this hat with great pride. No shame, no fear. Because I believe in the message of it. I believe it is a message that is encompassing to all American people. It's a message of American economics. It's a message of tradition. It is a message of prosperity for all people, that all the boats shall rise. And it is a message that we have equal opportunity under the law, and that America actually means something. And that America it's not just this amorphous thing that's out there floating around, that it actually means something. We came from somewhere. We respect the democracy of the dead. We don't trample on the grave of those who've come before us. We have disagreements. We can call them out for the things that were incorrect. We've done that, and people will do that with us. It places us within a continuity. It places us within a continuum of development and progress. And we're not advancing the crazy crap, by the way. We're not advancing the crazy crap that lumps in, like the National Museum of African American History and Culture, the idea that whiteness includes being prompt, being on time, or, I don't know, literature, or, I don't know, linear thinking. Okay, I got you. Or, I don't know, the empirical method. What? Okay, I got you. We ain't playing that game. And we believe in American economics. It's how we became the most prosperous nation in the history of the world. And how it's benefited people. And you could see it. It's amazing. You could see it in the first 3 years before the lockdown measures, which is basically Bill Maher's, Jolly Rogers, what he wanted so badly. He's like, I think we need an economic crash. I think if it keeps going the way it's going, people are going to, vote for him because they like their jobs and stuff, and they like making money, and it seems like it's, applying to everybody regardless of race and gender. Kind of weird, isn't it? No, not at all. It's predictable. Maganomics, it's exactly how it plays out. So, I don't know exactly what you mean by the MAGA cap he's wearing betrays him. Don't know exactly what you mean, but that's the background, and that's, just the way it goes, man. It's just the way it goes. By the way, it's really good comments, man, in the comments section. You guys are going nuts. Man. Yeah, Chris O'Leary, the commies want things to evolve quickly. In fact, let's go ahead. I'm just gonna pop up the comments right now. We've only got a little bit of time left. Okay. Let's see here. The new normal by any means necessary. I might just end on that one, maybe, because I've got a couple other things that I'd love to talk about, but some of these things you can just simply hold off on. Okay, no, we're going to talk about that one. All right, let's see here. Newsflash: Trump is done with Murdoch. Oh, totally. Other people say we're done with Murdoch. Oh yes, big time. Let's see, outlaw cancel culture. Totally. We need, because cancel culture is rooted in a worldview that's demonic. It's demonic. You know, you sit there and you say, okay, you have this cancel culture that is, there's no concept, by the way, of like, they can mock all day long. They can mock the 10 Commandments, for example. But they don't have a 10 Commandments that has any kind of authority. The closest thing they've got to put it in stone are the Georgia Guidestones. And those, of course, are just straight up demonic. That's New World Order garbage. It's New World Order hot trash, eugenic trash, anti-human trash, straight from the pit of hell. And so that's the closest thing they've got to something that can be set in stone. And so if they come around, the cancel culture mob, their standards are arbitrary. What are they rooted in? By what authority? By what authority are there the moral valuations that they give to things? They say, well, we give this right here. This is where it fits on the spectrum and the scale of right and wrong. On what authority? Is it them? Is it their opinion? Is it political correctness? Is it what they think is reason? Well, okay, well, then we should be able to reasonably debate that. Oh, no. They don't want that. They don't want that. They want to cancel you. And you say, well, okay, well, what's the punishment? You know, people can poke shots all they want at confession, right? With Catholicism. You go into confession and you have there's a list of things when you do an examination of conscience. Where is the left's examination of conscience? And again, who has the authority to dictate that is reflective of that examination is reflective of the sins that you must not only commit, but that you must also confess? And further still, what is the penance? What is the penance? How do you reconcile? What is reconciliation? Who has authority? Who is in that place to be able to tell you what you need to do in order to be reconciled with the mob? They don't have it. They don't have it. Not only do they not have authority, they don't have any kind of objective standard. They don't have any normative rule. It's not accessible by everybody to say, okay, well, like, we can look and say, okay, here's the Bible, here's the catechism, you know, we've got here's the creeds. Here's how this plays itself out. Here's the authority of tradition. Here's why this is authoritative. This is why. Here would be the things that we need to avoid. Here would be the things that you would need to do and the advisements that you should be given for penance and for direction. And here is how people on the outside of that confessional, here is how they need to view the person who comes out of the confessional, getting on their knees, crying out to God as they do their penance and trying to reform their life with an act of contrition. Where is the act of contrition for the mob? What is the expectation? And in fact, not just an expectation, but a demand that is incumbent upon them. It is something that they must do. And if they do not do, that too is a sin. The mob doesn't have it. The mob does not have it. It's unbelievable. It fails over and over and over. It's a facepalm after facepalm. It's like that girl we showed earlier in the bar, swinging her head around, doing her thing, and then whoa, falls back and blam, right, her face right into the thing. Or like the van we showed 2 days ago that comes out of the lot, of the showroom, and within 1 second, right into a wall. Because what I asked just now regarding by what authority, by what standard, those are so fundamental. You can't ignore that question. You cannot ignore that question, because it is upon that question that everything you say makes any sense at all or bears any kind of authority whatsoever. Otherwise, you are a clanging cymbal, and a crazy one at that, a violent one at that, clashing and clanging all around, blah, blah, blah. I'm mad. I don't like what this guy said. Let's take him out, blah, and get all my friends to do it. It's a modern version of Smear the Queer. It's what it is. And I'm sorry to call it that way, but that's kind of the bigoted manner that these people are doing what they're doing with cancel culture. And they can't handle it. They couldn't have her. And that's why they don't want to debate either. That's why they don't want to debate either, because deep down inside, they don't have what it takes, man. They don't have what it takes, because they're at a paradigm level. They are completely lost. They're given to individualism, to solipsism. They're given to all these terrible isms that have no force and power to ground any of the things that they're saying, to ground them in a way that we can all dance on that floor and know what's going on, and that it makes sense, and that it bears authority, that it applies equally, that it is accessible. If it's something required of us, it must be accessible. We must understand this. We must be able to see what is required of us, and to have some means and mechanism by which we can all look and say, okay, this isn't just some rando coming out of with their click-clacktivism on their phones, or click-clacktivism on their keyboards, coming at me, mad because I said the wrong word. Mad because I don't buy into their delusion. And I don't care if you put it in your bio on Twitter. It doesn't mean jack to me. That's not an authority. Who are you? As far as I'm concerned, you're some rando. Who are you? We need to have some kind of a rule that applies to all of us so that we can say, okay, here's a rando. How do I treat randos? What is expected of me? Who expects it of me? By what authority is it expected of me? And what's the punishment if I fall short of that? And if I do fall short of it, what is the punishment? And if I do desire to be reconciled and I feel truly sorry for what I've done, who has authority to fix this? And what must I do? What advisements must I heed? Again, facepalm, 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 and they get up and all they've got are fangs. Don't be afraid of them anymore. Do not be afraid of them anymore. Because it's bad. Wow, man. You guys are commenting like crazy, man. It's hard for me to follow. I should have been following in real time. I should have been following in real time, man. Let's see here. Let's see. This, should he have considered war, mutiny from within? Yes. A Trojan horse was brought in by the CCP that pretended to be on our side. They've been creating a false sense of security using the traitors in the U.S. Totally 100%. I think actually that's kind of what's going on. I think it's what's going on. I think it's why we're seeing a mix-up, not only with the advising committees, but also with the way that people report to others within the national security infrastructure in our country. And it would be treasonous, yes. And that's why I think the Coomer, by the way, from Dominion, that's why I think he's vanished. He's gone. That's why he hasn't showed up. That's why so many of those people from Dominion are in hiding. They've taken their names and identities off of LinkedIn. You'd think they would be really proud. According to YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, everything is perfectly fine. Everything is perfectly fine. And by the way, last thing with this, two things, and I'll try to drop that word, and then I want to just finish on a final thought here. Okay. Right here, the Last Man Revival is over on Telegram. Become so unpredictable that even you cannot anticipate your next move. But execute your will with deliberation when you do. Camouflage your tracks with the spontaneity of a moment's notice to evade the termination of your hunt. Defy the regiment of urban impulses by lashing out against the structures that support them. May the trail of wreckage left in your wake be your signature to the world and forever menace. May your name transcend language and metamorphose into a parasite that burrows and hatches its eggs in the perturbed minds and cold hearts of your enemies. May the capillary waves of your legacy spread outwards, upwards, downwards, and in all directions, dyeing red in the fabric of human perception as far as the mind can perceive. I think it's true. I think it's true. I think we need to realize that this, in fact, is a war. It's a war. We are in a place, and it's not just a war. It's a spiritual war. It's a war in the natural realm, in all different areas of life, and with the Great Reset, with this idea that they have. They want to rethink everything. They want to reimagine everything. Focus on dreaming and make your dreams what it's going to be. And look, I say aspire to your dreams. I do. But we're realistic too. We're not riding unicorns, man. We're not riding unicorns. We're not believing in the video game of the brain. We sit there and we say, look, there are, and look, sometimes people can aspire to things outside those parameters. Otherwise, we wouldn't have certain inventions that we have. But we rarely ever, and there's maybe a lesson to be learned from the inventions. And this is something that I want to talk about here in a second. But it's something that we can learn from inventions, that oftentimes when these things are invented, we embrace them with a gusto. We like to think only of the positive because it was borderline miraculous, borderline magical. In fact, basically every new technology, there are tons of people who are just going to think it's magic, that it happened. But yet they don't count the cost because we're not forward thinking enough. But we need to be forward thinking. We need to be able in the moment to make the right decisions. But in these right decisions, we need to understand the art of warfare. We need to study the art of war. We need to study the art of protest. We need to study the art of spycraft, for example. People should read the book of Judith. People should read the book of Maccabees. People should read the Bible. People need to take a knee for Jesus Christ. And that, in fact, needs to be one of those things. In fact, I'll just move on from here. And I'll just talk about this, People need to take a knee for Jesus Christ. We live in a time, I can come on here and I can talk about all the crazy things going on in the world, all the hypocrisy, all the evil, all of the lies, all of the cancel culture, all of the fraud, all of the demoniac crap that goes on with the elites around the globe, all the great reset, the diabolical shenanigans going on with that. I can talk about the New World Order. We could talk about all these things, and we know they're all true. We know it's all true. It's all there. We can see it as plain as day. They're not even, they've gotten past the point of hiding. And I've said before that we're at a civilizational impasse, that in the history of civilizations, I say it's the very first thing on the show, the pre-show with the highlight reel, that there's an impasse that takes place. And so sometimes you have a civilization in decline and a civilizational model that's within that bursting mixture of conflicting ideas that are dividing the civilization in decline. Normally it's balkanized. So you have ones that rise up and fight with each other, and eventually one ascends in such a way you have enough of the elite from the old order to jump on board of this and normally hijack it. But when you get to that point where they cross paths, there is no coexistence anymore. And I've said in the beginning of the show, and I'm saying it right now, we are there right now. There is no coexistence between these worldviews anymore, because these worldviews are so separated that they don't share any common principles. They might have a little bit of a policy over here, a little bit of a policy over there. You can go, oh, yeah, I can see that. But the underlying foundational paradigm principles that they have, the superstructure, the worldview, these things are incompatible. And so when that happens, this isn't the first time. In fact, it's common. This is the way history plays itself out on a civilizational scale. That when this kind of thing happens, you end up having conflict resolution that gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And at this point, we're at a place where you're really going to have either you're going to have a great awakening, or you will have blood. And you may even have both, because when you have blood, those who are greatly awakened, and I'm talking in a religious revival sense, in the idea of people realizing the danger of the abyss that is swallowing everybody whole, that new civilizational construct that is swallowing everybody whole, the demise of all the things that they loved, maybe even their own demise. And we know that's coming. We hear people in high positions of power without any kickback at all from big tech, no kickback from leaders in the Democratic Party, talking about maybe we need re-education camps. Maybe we need re-education camps. And see, that's their version of this. You know what our version is? That would be forced at the barrel of a gun pointed at you and your children. You know what our version is? You need to take a knee for Jesus Christ. You need to submit yourself entirely to him because he is the Savior of all mankind, and that includes you. And without him, I wish you the best, but your time is limited. And I'll see you on the front lines. I hope you're on our side. And I mean that. People need to take a knee for Jesus. And if and when this happens, and I'm of the belief that along this way, because I believe that there's a trajectory, we can look at history and say, look at how the kingdom advances, and look at the dark times relative to scale, relative of knowledge, relative of reach. Look at the darkness that different groups have lived through, relative to scale. And you say they lived through those times, and what prevailed? The kingdom. The kingdom. But it went through dark times, violent times, evil times, times where they felt that all was lost. But it wasn't. And sometimes there was a revival that took place. Sometimes that revival had ramifications like a renaissance. Sometimes it had ramifications that were good. Sometimes it had ramifications that were not so good. You know, counter-reformations, good. Okay? You also have ones that aren't so good, like some of the more modern Great Awakenings that took place. You can go back and look and say, when it's just based on emotion, and there's, you know, the quaking and the shaking and the screaming and the weeping and the wailing and the falling on the ground. And then you look at the statistics later and you find out, wow, look at the way that alcoholism ended up massively spiking. Look at the way that sexual promiscuity massively spiked. Children out of wedlock. Because it was rooted in emotions. It was shallow. It was kiddie pool stuff. So we need to know this going in and be prepared. We need to prepare ourselves and say, look, this is the way you got to do it. We have to make sure that there are roots that are deep, that it's not just, and I don't want to dog the emotion, because there's a lot of people that they're feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling angry, they're feeling despair. And I don't want to add to the death of despair. I want them to realize that that is a sickness that leads to death. But there's somebody who conquered death. And the way that you get to him is by taking a knee. And if you're somebody who doesn't know God, or you're somebody who's very confused about what you believe, or you're depressed and you're in despair, I'm being super serious about this. I hope that you reach out to us. I hope that you reach out to the show, because we really care, and because I've been there. I'm not here to judge you. If you reach out to me, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh man, I'm not. And it's personal. If you can tell me what you want to tell me, or not tell me what you don't want to tell me. But the thing is, I want you to know that you're not alone in this, that other people are scared too, that other people don't like what they're seeing, and they're trying to figure a way out. You got to escape to go back. Press escape to go back, guys. You got to escape into something that's a moving train marching forward through history, through space and time. One that's victory, no matter what. And you can do that. You need to email me. I mean it. Reach out to me, find me. Paleocrat, it's easy. PALEOCRAT. You can find me at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Go to paleocratdiaries.com. There is, in fact, I'll put it back over here real quick, just so that you can see it. Just so you can see it. I'll get the family down here right now. Get the family down here right now. Because we're closing up, guys. It's been a good show, but we're way over time. Okay? Do you see this? This is the help wanted, a call for volunteers and contributors. You should go anyway. Check it out. If you're interested, we got a whole bunch of these things. Social media operators for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Parler. Social media amplifiers. Story suppliers. Meme magicians. Contributors. Video editors. We should even put together a prayer chain. A prayer chain for the wolf pack. Okay? But at the bottom of this, I know it says members chat. I think if you just go, let's just go here and see if it changes from members chat to something else. You don't have to be a member to do that. It should normally just say, let's talk. Welcome to members chat. Chat one-on-one with other site members right here. And you can just add a new chat. And that will come straight to me. In fact, it goes straight to my phone. It's actually a problem a little. But I'm going to keep it this way because people are reaching out. And if you're somebody who thinks maybe God will never love you because of the things you've done, or that God doesn't care, or that God doesn't exist, I'm not going to sit here and have some, academic debate. I do this for 3 hours a day. I say more than enough on here. You want to come at me? Come at me on the show. Hop in the comments section. Okay? I'm not going to sit there and do that. Oh, yeah. Where's my little guy? Oh, yeah. Okay. Here, hand me little dude. Hand me my little boy. All right. All right. Hold on, little Louie. Hold on, little Lou. But you can send it right there. It's easy to do. Okay? So we're going to go ahead here. Let's get you guys into the main screen. I want to just say, here, hold on, let me see if I can scooch it over a little bit. All right, you see that? These are my kids. And so whenever you become a member at our site, and we've talked about this before, when you become a member and you're paying $5 a month, it helps my kids go to school. My kids are amazing kids, and I'm going to start sharing videos of them doing different things having to do with school so that you can see the kind of stuff that they do. Right, we showed some of the things that they've done before. Poetry memorization. They had to memorize. One of them had to memorize the entire. What is it? Paul Revere's Ride.
That's me, and then who's going to do it? I think this year.
Okay, yeah. So they're doing it, and they're still doing in most of the time in classroom education. Okay, so they're abiding by the state rules and stuff, but they're also pushing liberty the best they can because the school is a classical education school. Oh, hold on. Sorry, buddy. Hold on. You're doing good. Yeah, little Louie wanted to play with that. Little Louie, you see yourself in that, buddy? But that's what they do. And so I want to show you what you contribute to because you're contributing to future leaders. You're contributing to future mothers and fathers. You're contributing to people who are trying to live a well-rounded life, right? Multi-talented, multi-skilled, and at the heart of it all, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. So make sure to check out our membership page. We support every little bit of it. And 100% of the money, every penny of it, I don't take a penny for myself. It goes straight to the school so that my kids can continue. So every single little bit of it, we make other money in order to try to make, ends meet with everything else. But we rely on you. We're not relying on other people because we say stuff here that's pretty edgy, but it's stuff that's got to be said. So, all right, everybody. All right, everybody. We got to get to this end transmission scene. Yeah, I'm really far over time. My kids are like, I think you're over time. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. It happens. Yeah, I think I'm like 3 hours and 20 minutes, man. We got to make it happen. Make sure. Go to the rally tomorrow. If you are in Lansing, you got to go. Or if you're around Lansing, you got to go tomorrow. It is 12 to 3. Big boy here, Papa Bear. He's going to be speaking again. Right? Letting everybody know we support President Trump in this time and that we understand the significance of this. Make sure, go to paleocratdiaries.com. You can find out more about becoming a volunteer, a contributor, a member. You can also connect with me for interviews, collaboration, speeches. I love doing those. I love doing all sorts of things with different people. You got panel discussions, right? Debates. Or if you got any other inquiry, make sure you can email us there or you can connect with us at paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Check out this weekend, Paleo Chief Podcast, new episode, and subscribe to Meaning of Catholic. And until next time, remember, as we always say, never give up, keep on smiling, and memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off. The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority began standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge, maybe a funeral procession.